Well, we're all back once again. Want to welcome you back to Krown's Crypto Cave. My God, a very momentous day as Bitcoin heads up to all sorts of new levels. We're talking about 13K today, and my God, I want to wish you the best of the best, the happiest of the happiest. No Elsa intro today because, well, she's running a little bit of an errand right now. But with all of that said, we got plenty to talk about with Bitcoin as lower time frames are screaming. Everyone's talking about no retracements till 20,000, which is typically a warning sign. But to kind of summarize my thoughts before we even get into it, I actually do think that Bitcoin has a little bit more to go here. But with all that said, I want to wish you the best, the happiest of the happiest. Want to be wishing you well on this lovely Wednesday. Hey, yeah, happy hump Wednesday, whatever it might be. Is it Wednesday? I'm not quite sure. I'm pretty sure it's Wednesday. My computer says it's Wednesday. My computer's usually right. So I'm going to initiate the good old teleportation. I'll see you in the live scene right here, right now, with Bitcoin in all of her beautiful glory. My God, taking that leg up, almost just a few bucks shy of $13,000. Price per Bitcoin, and we are approaching some major massive resistances. So this is where I start to get a little bit more on edge from a trending perspective, because we're once again starting to hear all of the euphoria come back into the market. We're once again hearing people say no retracements till 20,000, 30,000, 50,000. There is no retracements. We're going to a fucking million, baby. Well, perhaps, you know, is that possible? Yeah, I mean, anything's possible, right? Is it probable? Pretty improbable, I'd say. And we are getting towards the areas where I would be looking for a little bit of counter trend pressure. So with all of that said, we are rapidly approaching, as Bitcoin heads back above 12,900 once again, we are rapidly approaching the 618 Fibonacci retracement on the higher time frames, from the ultimate high to the ultimate low of the last session of the last market cycle, going all the way from 20,000 to 3,100 right over here. And yes, this is very likely from a statistical standpoint to provide a little bit of counter trend pressure. It is the most likely out of actually all of these retracements here. I believe the 0.5 is about somewhere between 30 and 40%, and the 618 is about 50. I believe it's about 50 to 60%. I need to revisit those statistics, but I do believe that is correct area. And what's up, Marco? How you doing, my friend? Can you chart Qtum? Hey, well, yeah, man. Let's talk about Bitcoin here for a second first, and then we'll get over to Cuban. I promise that we will hit it up later, but I do want to cover Bitcoin first and foremost because that is the star of the show. And we do see the 618 coming in right around about 13,300, which will line up actually with our lower time frames right now, because lower time frames, while I do think get another leg up here as hourly is looking very good, we do see a nice consolidation on very low time frames right now. But we see a little bit of a bull flag right on over here. I made a measure move on this earlier today before we even really had it in, and you can kind of already see it in there. But looking to me like it's pointing right around about 13,300. So 13,300 measure move on the lower time frames. That's also going to be synonymous and consistent with our higher time frame major areas, which are not just outlined by the Fibonacci from the ultimate high to the ultimate low of the last major market cycle, but also basically a little bit of a stutter step that we saw back in the early 2018, late 2017 session right on over here, creating this nice support, or well, former support, now turned resistance, as you saw right over here in the on the flip on the later end of January. And once again, we are approaching this region, which is again at around about 13,300. So a lot of things coming around this area, and that does make me a little bit cautious. Pair that up with all of the with what's once again feeling like a little bit of an irrational, sphere within this market. We do see the crypto fear and greed index get around a 95, which is the highest that we've seen well over, basically since 20,000 we saw last year. So this is, from a statistical standpoint, getting pretty extreme. We're hitting extremes right now. Not only that, we are seeing higher time frames really start to start to look a little bit overextended here. But with all of that said, I want to be very clear with this. I want to make sure that I'm not misheard on this. I actually do think that Bitcoin takes up another leg here on the lower time frames. I just wanted to note that this next area of resistance is something to be very aware of, because that, you know, typically when we get everyone kind of thinking the same thing, that's the best time for a little bit of a hunt, if you want to call it that, hunt or trap or whatever it might be, whatever it ends up being. All I'm saying is, from a higher time frame standpoint, we are approaching major areas which are pivots on the market. Now, of course, I feel like each and every day is like a new segment now, just because Bitcoin's been moving so fucking fast. I do think it's appropriate to kind of wrap up what we saw yesterday, but yesterday we saw a close of, we saw our measured move to about 11,700 hit, right? The 11,700 area hit, then that also correlated with the daily closing above, and also a 2-day closing above this 0.5 Fibonacci retracement right out over here, and that was our impetus for looking for a move into the 13,000s. And again, as we said yesterday, the 12,000s were very unlikely to be any sort of real area of resistance. So again, Bitcoin really just ignoring the 12,000s and going straight from about 11,500 to 13,000. And let me just actually adjust this chart right on over here, and I want to show the volume profile as well. Volume profile, as you can see, if I take this guy off and we can see it just a little bit better, we do see that we're kind of in no man's land. But again, where is the next major volume node? I wouldn't say that this is a major volume node, but relatively speaking, it is on the higher side. We do see one right around that mid 13,000-ish area, so about 13,500. So we can make a range for this next area of awareness, and I'd say it's between about 13,300 and 13,500. Right now, we're kind of in no man's land, so that does tell me that we probably do float up there and do officially test it. But for right now, I would be very cognizant of being swept up in the overall hopium of the market right now, which is incredibly high. We are at multi-year highs right now for the hopium, which is not a bad thing. Like I said, you know, you're gonna have your hopium in a bull market, just like you have your dysbarium in a bear market. But after all of this, I would be a little bit more cautious here. I think it's appropriate in this area to be a little bit more defensive. If you've been riding up long for the last few months, I actually have taken a little bit of profit on my long right over here. I've done this with options. However, I've just done it by selling the 11,000 strike calls against some positions. I still have about half of my positions uncovered, but this is my streamer account right on over here, still holding the actual spot positions long, but just doing with options once again. And I've gotten a lot of questions about that. If you're interested in options, go check out my free playlist titled it's titled something like Options 101 Introduction or something like that, man. It's in there. It'll do much better job than I can do on a stream like this when we have so much to talk about. But of course, with regards to all of that, I did want to get that onwards and outwards first, as I go back down to lower time frames. Now we can go talk about some low time frame bullshit, which hourly looks fine here to me. Hourly still looking actually quite strong, looking like it wants continuation. We do see hourly Stokes riding it back onwards and upwards. We do see a nice trend line forming right here, which is still being picked up and still being respected. So that does tell me that we probably get another leg on this run on the lower time frames. Not only that, we actually just got done closing a pretty damn good 12-hour dildo time frame right over here. Very girthy, and we do see it on pretty damn high volume as well. So again, another technical saying that yes, we probably do try a little bit higher, probably do try at the very least some continuation here, probably towards those low 1300 to mid 1300, or sorry, not 1300, 13,000. Jesus Christ, man, that is a big problem right now. The hardest thing about Bitcoin being back above 10,000 is all the fucking zeros that follow after it, because when you're typing in your orders, it's like, holy shit, am I typing in the right thing anymore? And shout out to Gumble for saying that in the program Discord earlier. Really agree with that, man. I've had a lot of potential fat fingers being averted by Deribit saying, "Are you sure you want to do this at 1300?" No, I'm not. I am sure. I'm not sure actually. Thank you for asking. Anyways, 12-hour looking pretty damn good. In fact, 12-hour Stokes were the impetus for yesterday getting long once again. This is why I was looking for some upside yesterday when we saw the 12-hour Stokes cross back up right on over here. We did see, the last few, not the last few, but for the last 5 to 6 months, the bullish crosses on just about all of the Stokes, but especially the 1 hour, the 12-hour, and the daily have been really good. Even when we are in the more critical zone, this is completely fine. And this is what I really want to say, that there's no such thing as overbought or oversold. Most people would look at this and say, it's extended, it's too high, we need to go down now. Well, Probably not. And as you can see, you'd have been shorting about $1,000 dildo getting shoved straight up your bunghole, coming in your bunghole and then out your mouth hole, full on shish kebab. Now your popsicle and your good old green dildo popsicle in a very, very bullish market right now. That is a problem with it, and that is really what I'm going to get around, because a lot of people get very swept up in trying to time the next top. I'm not even going to be selling the next top. Probably, I'm probably just going to be pulling in profits. Nothing more than that. I don't really care to play shorts in an overall bull market. Just like when we were in a bear market, I didn't want to play longs. No interest really in those. I'm looking to close shorts in a bear market, looking to close longs in a bull market, not open up shorts in a bull market, not open up longs in a bear market. Trading with the trend can make your life so much more easier, which I hear a lot of questions about this, and it quite literally is that simple. The game is as easy as you allow it to be. Take this from someone who does this as a living, that the game is hard. The game is fucking hard, but there's no rules with it. So if you do want to make it easy for yourself, typically speaking, looking at the higher time frames will do that for you. Anyways, let me just get on over. Let me just tick that off right on over there. It looks like I'm dropping a few frames, so that's okay. Now it's all fixed, and back onto the actual charts. Let me tick off the volume profile right there. And I do want to talk about the higher time frames as well. Higher time frames like I said, are looking a little bit extended here, but doesn't mean that they have a little bit more to go. We do see daily Stokes way up there, of course. So as we just spoke about, there's no such thing as overbought, oversold, but it is worth mentioning that we are basically at multi-year highs for this area, and that hasn't spelled such good things in the past, to be fair. More importantly, we also do see the daily jewel, which is once again getting into an area of very, 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 very interesting proportions, just because just like we saw in the Stokes, we are actually getting around multi-year highs on this as well. Let's actually go to Bitstamp so we can extrapolate this a little bit further. And yeah, you can see right on over here, we're currently at a 90 read on this, and there's very few times in the history of Bitcoin where we've actually gotten above a 90 read on this. Now, this is not the 100% way to use the jewel, and that actually would suggest that we potentially could have a little bit more going on, as it has gotten up to 92 on the daily before. That has happened in the past, but just another signal saying, hey, from the macro perspective, I am starting to look for a little bit. I'm seeing some signs of exhaustion here. I am seeing that we are approaching some major resistances, so I would be a little bit more cautious in this region. We've had some nice plays all the way up, and now I think is a time to be a little bit more protective, even though I do think on the lower time frames we probably do have a little bit more to the on this rally to go. 13,300 to 13,500 seems reasonable. I need to take a sip of this water, man, because I'm damn thirsty. It looks like that ground beef is just taking up all my salivas right now, so just one moment. Oh, yeah, finally, we're back. Got a nice little oil change, and good for another 100 miles or 100,000 miles if that's the right term. Anyways, yeah, I did think that that's worth mentioning right on over here. But again, this is not a sell signal in and of itself. I want to see this light blue oscillator get a negative slope within this region. That's probably when we call the next local top from a daily dildo time frame perspective and go into a period of consolidation. Extrapolating this onto the 2-day dildo time frame right on over here, we do see 2-day dildo Stokes getting way up there into areas that they haven't seen in years since 2017. But again, until we actually get a negative slope on this, don't really think it's too much of a consideration. 2-day RSI is going to be building some divergence, so that next local high will actually activate the divergence spots, and we probably will see some nice downwards momentum. But again, still for right now, we don't have that anywhere near in place. I want to be very, 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 very adamant about saying this. I am not suggesting to try to time the top, and this is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor, of course. I would never do that. But more importantly, it's only until I get these indications completely confirmed that I'm willing to call a local top and say, hey, party's probably over for a little while. We probably go into a consolidation, for a couple weeks or whatever it ends up being. It's way too early to call it right now. Of course, going over the 3-day, and the 3-day is the one that I really, 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 really want to keep an eye on, because a 3-day jewel is going to be the governor for, in my opinion, the next big major retracement. When I get the signal on the 3-day jewel, I will be looking for a 30 to 40% retracement. I want to see this light blue oscillator get into this critical zone right out over here, outlined by the dotted red trend lines. If and when that does happen, and we get red in the background and then get a negative slope as we've seen in the past periods right on over here, I will look for similar reactions as we've seen in the past periods as well, and we will see that very obviously this has led into, well, about the same things, about 32% drawdown right over there. Right on over here we have about a 40% down. Right on over here we have another 40% down. Right on over here we have another 32% down. You get the idea. And we can go onwards downwards and backwards for that whole thing. But that indicator has been extremely consistent when we get that very specific setup. So again, I need to see the light blue oscillator get into this more critical zone, then get red in the background, then get a negative slope. That's when I'd be willing to call one of those more nasty retracements. And to be fair, the way that it's currently situated would actually suggest that we have more upside to go before any sort of a major retracement. Why do I say that? Well, because this is a 3-day dildo time frame perspective, which each and every tick is 3 days worth of price action. That means that even if we went vertical from this region right on up to this region, it'd still take probably 2 to 3 weeks, I'd imagine. And that's, you know, how much damage to price action can be done within that time span. Jesus Christ, man, don't I don't even want to think about it right now. But my point is that if and when I do see that signal, then that's when I start to take action. So that actually would be suggesting that we still have, you know, some fuel here from a higher time frame perspective. But I do want to check out CMEs really quick. CMEs are actually above 13,000 right now, 13,160. And I do want to talk about this very deliberately right now. There is a massive premium on CMEs comparative to our spot charts. CMEs trading at 13,160, spot chart about 12,900. So about 250 bucks, we'll call it. And what does this mean? What is this essentially saying? Well, here's a big thing. CMEs are going to be expiring, I believe, this Friday, because this is going to be the last trading Friday. No, well, no, they can't expire on non-Fridays. Yes, so it could be, well, the 31st. Dude, how many days do we have in this month? Jesus Christ. Let me check out my calendar right here. We have 30 days in June, so that means it ends on a Sunday. Okay, so if it ends on a Sunday, CMEs are not trading until 7 p.m. Eastern time. So yeah, we're probably going to get the close on Friday then. Yes, so we will get the close on the Friday most likely at 7 p.m. Eastern time. And my point is with this is that these are coming to expiration extremely fast, and usually right before expiration, like literally like a week before expiration, the futures will come into parity with the spot underline. And that's very important because what we're seeing right now is we're actually seeing futures really overshoot the spot underline as we come closer and closer to expiration, which is very, very bizarre. Very rarely have I ever seen this in my life. And it would actually suggest more up to come. And funnily enough, why? Because, well, if the futures are trading that high, then that means that people are going to be marked towards that area. They're going to be marked against the spot underline. So people have to, you know, the traders on CMEs will have to, you know, take that in consideration, and they'll be buying up the spot underline in order to cover if they are, you know, on the other side of the trade. So by that metric, everything is connected in this whole space. We're not operating in a vacuum, no matter what Superman or whoever the fuck else tells you that CME futures are bad for Bitcoin. So asinine, so crazy, so misguided of a statement. And what's more important is that we will see these guys we will see these guys 100% come into parity at expiration. But before then, that would actually suggest that there's going to be some buying pressure on the spot underline. What's up, Mark? How you doing, man? If we do see a correction around the 13,300 range, where would we be looking for re-entries? Great. Oh my God. Great question. Okay, so let's talk this one out. I'm going to put it back on here on the 3-day. Let's go back to GDAX. Let's take all this off. And let's see. So if we were to put in the high at 13,300, and to be very deliberately clear, this is extremely experimental what I'm going to be doing right here. This is not real technical analysis. This is more mental masturbation. It's fun to do. It looks great for the YouTubes, but I'm not taking trades off this until our more obvious signals are actually ticked off. And right now they are not. But if we were to put in the top at 13,300, just as a thought experiment, then we could say, and we could just shave about 30% off this price. What would it line up with? Well, as you can see right here, that actually directly lines up with the 382 Fibonacci retracement. Perfectly done, actually. In fact, that's going to be your clear bought target. If you're going to be selling the 618, you're likely going to be buying the 382 more often than not. Now, yes, sometimes you do get back down to the 236. I think that's very, very unlikely here. I think it's actually quite unlikely that Bitcoin goes back down below 7,000 region. So that's like, well, to be fair, that's actually literally right at 7,000. But again, I think the 382 would be a little bit more likely. I like the confluences within this area. Not only that, but remember the usual ranges that we see on these pullbacks are about 30 to 40%. So let's just take another retracement and let's just say it's maybe 35%, just right in the middle, right smack dab in the middle. That would land us right around 8,500. Why is 8,500 important? Also, why is 9,400 important? Not just the 382 Fibonacci retracement, but if we go over here to CMEs, we can see that on CMEs we have still massive gaps unfilled back down around 8,500 and also a little bit, well, more around 10,000 right on over here. But if CMEs do have a premium on price action, that's going to line up with spot at about 9,500 as well, funnily enough. Anyways, my point is that 8,500 and about 9,500 would be the big areas of interest for myself for looking to get in major buys for more long-term position. Next long-term position, similar to what I'm doing right on over here on these guys that I've been holding for the past 5-6 months on this 3930 buy, 5150, and then more recently 9180-ish region, which actually will be expiring pretty damn soon as well. In fact, 2 days actually. So that one going to be going away, and this one actually operating. This one's operating at parity actually. Funnily enough, so we are seeing derivative futures actually operating at parity, whereas CME futures are still about $200 above. I mean, that's quite a change, man. I mean, very rarely do you see anything like this with only 2 days left till expiration. Holy shit, man! That is new territory for me. I don't really think I've ever seen anything happen like that. With only 2 days left to go, you'd expect them to be like pretty much parity. That's crazy. There's going to be a ton of arbitrage opportunities, and we're going to see some pretty massive price action between now and Friday. I would say. I'd say it's pretty fucking likely based off that. Let's go check out GBTC for a second, and don't worry, I haven't forgotten about QDM just yet, but I do want to get through Bitcoin fully and wholly first. And we see GBTC having another massive gap up open, actually right on our next major resistance. In fact, looks like I just missed something on over here. Sorry about that. Let me scroll on down. Hey, what's up, Aries? Aries or Aries? Eric, but there is also a CME gap at 7,300. No, there is not. I would disagree with that. In fact, and the reason why I disagree with it is going back on over here to CMEs. This is something that I feel like a lot of people get wrong. If you don't see a gap on the daily, it doesn't fucking count, man. And on the daily, do you see a gap on CMEs? No, of course not. And again, CMEs have become a fucking meme in this market. And I don't mean this in any way to be directed towards you or in any way to be offensive towards you, Aries. It's just something that I see typically in this market, typically on big crypto Twitter or big crypto Reddit accounts. So perhaps perhaps you're kind of just relating this information from one of those, and people will say, we have a gap at 7,200. I'm shorting now, and we're gonna go there now, and I'm gonna be fucking rich because I'm a genius, and no one ever thought about that ever before. Well, of course, it hasn't been working too well when people were saying it over here at 8,700, when people were saying it over here at 9,300, when people were saying it over here at 10,000, now people saying it at 13,000. This has been the rally from hell from over-aggressive and quote-unquote smart bears, right? Now, I love saying this. A dumb bull is going to make a lot more money in an upwards market than a smart bear. Why is that? Well, you're trading with the fucking trend, man. You're just making it easy on yourself. So, again, it's one of those things where I think a lot of people want to look at this and sound like the sexy smart person, which I know about gaps. I know. I read about Nicholas Martins here, and today is June 26th of 2019. I've been reading about gaps on the internet, and it's not like what my mom told me in between her legs. It's also about price action, and you know what happens when you have a gap? You need to go to the gap. It needs to be filled. Yes, it does need to be filled at some point in time, but that later date can happen. I mean, I've seen in some cases years in traditional markets, but typically they do get filled. It's just a matter of time. But yeah, as far as this one, I would not judge it so, because on the daily, you don't even really see it. This right over here, that's essentially filled. And from the CME perspective, we also have to remember that these ones were having a growing premium over time, right? So around this area, they were about a parity. Around this area, they actually started to gain a premium, a pretty nice premium actually. So when CMEs came back down on this segment right on over here, this segment right on over here, you could probably have said that did fill it. It's just you need to account for the premium actually on it. So if it's not obvious, it's not a good one. This one over here, obvious as fuck. This one over here, obvious as fuck. This one that we're actually working on right now, obvious as fuck as well. Those are good ones. Those are ones to be going off of. Those are ones that you can play and probably likely count on. This one over here, very, 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 very abstract and probably not something that I'd be playing. We do have things at the lower 7,000 level that are important from a more long-term perspective, but I think that it's so well and far away that it's just not even worth talking about right now, because I don't want to. it's just not really relative. If you know, if we head back down below 10,000, perhaps then yes, we can bring it back into the conversation. But for right now, not so much. As the way that I look at the 7,000 level is that is actually the major area to be beheld in for Bitcoin now, because Bitcoin did have a very momentous area that did change the more long-term picture as we kind of cross it. It was the white 200 simple right on over here, and we'll actually extrapolate this a little bit further. But first things first, we'll talk about the white 200 simple. That happened. We crossed back above it right on over here, and this has been a great indication of where we are in the overall market phase of Bitcoin. When we lost it over here, very bad. When we gained it over here, very good. In the past, we do see that also it's had a very similar reaction. Lost it over here in 2014, bad. Regained it over here, glory. And what else do we have? We also had the golden cross going on in this area right as well. I'll get to that in just a second, my friend. We had the golden cross, the green 50 and the purple 200x benchmark moving average crossing the upside right on over here. Historically speaking, this has been a damn good indication as well. The last golden cross happening well after the market had turned around and actually getting the bullish momentum very accurately on this first drive around about $400 in 2015 as well. Not only that, but we also see the yellow 21x benchmark moving average crossing the white 200 simple in this area as well, right around 7,300ish region, which when we saw the death cross on it, right, it's not a death cross, but when we saw the bearish cross on it right on over here, it was very bad, sending Bitcoin from about 6,000 to 3,000, almost immediately. And same thing over here in 2015 when Bitcoin turned around and it had the same cross. This was getting that same sort of bullish momentum leading on for the next few years to the upside. So my point is that going forwards here, that 7,200, 7,300 is a major pivot on the market, but it's so well and far away that discussing it just because some people think there's a gap down around there, I just don't think it's very likely. And if and when we do see all these major movement averages migrate above that white 200 simple, I don't think that we're going to be revisiting it anytime soon. Anyways, back onto the actual Bitcoin. Sorry, let me actually get back onto the comments. Jesus Christ, man. I feel like I missed so much on over here. Hey, what's up, Minoski? Thanks for that, my friend. But please feel free to like, have a message, man. It's good. It's good to chat. Shelly says, morning Krown. Hey, what's up, Shelly? How might the Ledger X futures approval affect the price of GBTC in the future that is being used for 401k accounts? Yeah, great question. And this is what I've been saying for a while. So with the advent of now really our first, well, to be fair, the Ledger X is going to be a futures physically backed Bitcoin contract, so it's not necessarily the spot underlying. Then again, GBTC is not necessarily, it's kind of the same in a sense. But my point is that as these more legitimate venues start to allow Bitcoin futures and then Bitcoin spot be able to put on major U.S. exchanges, I do think that the use case for GBTC is going to drastically diminish. Why would you put your money into an OTC bullshit stock? Which, to give you an idea of what OTC is, if you've seen The Wolf of Wall Street and you remember that first few scenes where Jordan Belfort is calling people up in like a bullshit fucking bucket shop, telling people about Aerotine Solutions. It's a leading edge, cutting edge, imminent technology, patent approval, whatever the fuck else he says. That kind of shit. That trades OTC. Those are pink slips. Those are bullshit. GBTC also trades OTC as well. So I would imagine for the more traditional crowd, they're going to be a lot more inclined to use something like the Ledger X solution rather than a GBTC. So I think that over time, GBTC probably does get pushed to the wayside, and we see it drop off, especially if we can like actually get an ETF on a major exchange. That would be a pretty damn big deal. But the wheels are turning, and we do see that the momentum has taken over, and more importantly, I do believe that things are headed in that direction. The foundations have been laid. If you've been paying attention to all the news and stuff like that, longer term, the foundations are being laid with the infrastructure around all of the traditional venues. So I think it's just a matter of time before Bitcoin, gets on a major exchange. We already have futures. Now we have Ledger X futures. Now, next probably going to be an ETF bot. That's in the works as well. And then at some point we'll get options as well. So it'll just trade it'll probably trade like a commodity, like gold. And that's essentially what I think happens in the next, over the next couple of years, whatever it ends up being. I don't know a time frame for it really, but I do believe that would greatly diminish the use case for Bitcoin. Anyways, I haven't forgotten what was it, Qdom. We'll briefly look at Qdom for a second here. Just a second here. I do see that Qdom looking pretty bad, like just about everything else, just making lower lows and lower highs for the eternity of its life. Probably does want to turn the corner here and probably does take another stab towards 500 Satoshis, but not a big fan of any chart that looks like this. If we go to a weekly weekly for a second. Weekly, yeah, weekly probably wants a little bit higher as well. And then we'll reassess right around 500 Satoshis. Back on a Bitcoin and back onto the lower time frames. We do see hourly struggling a little bit with 30 minutes Cadeau, but 30 minutes is a goddamn eternity in cryptocurrency land, especially when we're in this region right now. More importantly, the 30 minutes is still looking like continuation to me. Still looking like we just kind of flagged out right on over here and getting ready for another leg up. Target, unofficially would be somewhere around about 13,300, and I'd be holding on to that as long as Bitcoin remains above this 12,750-ish area right on over here. So if I am looking at the very low time frames, which I feel very guilty and dirty about doing this, but you can do it every once in a while. We do have a nice horizontal right here. As long as we remain above this horizontal, I do think that Bitcoin does break this next level at about 12,950, and that's going to lead up to the next leg towards about 13,300, in that range between 13,300 to 13,500. Of course, that is where we start to really consider the higher time frames, because this is an area of major resistances, like the 618 Fibonacci retracement. Also, horizontals coming in back from historical levels at the end of 2017, early 2018, and we do have volume profile also showing a little bit of activity shown in this region as well as the measured move, which is going to be a lot of bot and algo targets. Not only that, I should show this as well. If we go over here to our expected moves chart, so this is a chart of expected moves, just using basically standard deviations from the mean. And hey, hold on, and more importantly, we do see the first ring, the 68%, is coming in where? It's coming in literally right around 13,300. So I really do like that. That's a 68%. The second for just, for what it's worth, is coming in right around about 13,800. And the third ring is coming in right around 14,300. Now keep in mind, the second and the third, those are 95 and 99% respectively. So it's very low probability. But this first one right on over here, actually quite high. So 13,300, I would say, is your likely top of the range for now, and then we'll reassess if and when Bitcoin does get there, and I guess I'll just leave it off there. I did miss a few comments, sorry about that. I'll get down to it right here, right now. Well, God, Jesus Christ, man, this is moving fast as fuck. Jesus. Thoughts on XRP, says Fadi Hawich. Yeah, we can look at XRP for just a second. I guess it is. I guess I almost am done with Bitcoin. But where's my XRP? Come on, baby, where are you? There you are. XRP versus US dollar, or XRP versus Satoshi. XRP versus US dollar is, my chart is missing, it looks like. Yeah, it looks like Poloniex got rid of all their data. I guess I'm gonna have to, or something's going on with Poloniex here. Let's look at this in another exchange. Perhaps Bitstamp's gonna be a better one with more historical valuations, and I will have to redo this chart a little bit, but still pretty damn easy to do. In fact, it's no more complicated than this right here. Nice little ascending triangle, gets broken out to the upside. We spoke about this early this morning, that it was likely to get some continuation. I believe that that's what we're seeing right now. I do believe that the measure move on this baby right on over here is probably pointed around towards 52 to 53 cents. And yeah, about 52 cents it looks like. And this whole guy right on over here is one massive cup and handle, is how I kind of identify this, which is actually going to have a more long-term implication for a move towards about 60 cents. So those are the two targets. I'd say medium-term target around 52 cents, a little bit longer-term target right around 60 cents. And overall, Ripple looks like he actually wants to rip to the upside here. We're actually seeing a lot of alts starting to look, relatively good against the dollar and looking like they want to take some legs. Mr. Buterol's also looking pretty damn good as well. And more importantly for Ripple, as we look on it right on over here, taking everything off, just looking at the moving averages, we see a nice splayed out attempt between all the moving averages as they all migrate above that blue 377 exponential moving average, which at some point in time, if this keeps up, which I probably do think it keeps up, we're going to see something similar to Bitcoin, where Bitcoin has everything splayed out here. We're trading above all major moving averages. All lower periods are trading above higher periods, and more importantly, we're getting divergences from the lower periods from the other, from the next higher period, of course. So we're seeing the red 10 simple getting divergence away from the yellow 21. So trend is strengthening in the more immediate terms. We're also seeing divergence between the purple 200 and the blue 377 exponential moving average. So longer term, that is actually increasing as well. So momentum is actually still being gained to the upside here from the longer term perspective on the daily. Anyways, I just missed another one. Sorry about that. Let me get down on over here. What's up, Mikey? How you doing, my friend? Hey, Krown, what signs to look for that 30% pullback versus regular pullback? What kind of setup will it be? Really, for myself, man, I'm just gonna be going off the jewel for that one. I don't really have any other way to do it. That one's been so fucking accurate in the past. That's that's what I'd be rolling with. You trust your edge. When you have an edge, you trust your edge, basically, and that's how you get that statistical formula that can allow you to make those pretty damn nice trades over a long period of time. And to be fair, and I shouldn't say this, I shouldn't say this, but this is actually a truth. The jewel has been perfect on those signals, with at the very least a 30% pullback and as much as a 70% pullback at some points. I do not think that we get a 70% pullback, but I do think a 30 to 40% pullback is certainly within the cards. But remember, that's nowhere near signaling. It's not even there just yet. So that would actually suggest that we have more upside to go. I mean, who knows how much damage can be done before that actually gives a signal? I mean, I didn't even want to think about what can happen. Anyways, going back to Bitcoin, and actually let's talk a little bit more about the higher time frames as we are within this region anyways. It is worth noting that overall on Bitcoin, as we approach this region, we are once again in no man's land from a volume profile perspective. If I can get it on, that'd be great. Come on, TradingView, update, upload. Come on, baby. There you are. Can do it a little bit more, maybe. As you can see, we're pretty much in no man's land right on over here. We're in an area of what's called very, 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 very low market acceptance. However, as you can see as well, it's not too far away from that next kind of splutter of volume profile activity, which is, again, right around that 13,300-ish level. So multiple things lining up at that level. It's not just that area from the volume profile. It's also the 618 Fibonacci retracement. Whoops, we go on a wrong chart. We go on right over here. It's 618 Fibonacci retracement. Also horizontals and supporting resistance from late 2017, early 2018. Also expected moves right on over here for the first standard deviation, and it's also a measure move on the lower time frames as well. So a lot of things really aligning, and this is why I do want to be a little bit more on the defensive side from the lower time frame perspective and medium time frame perspective actually. And also it is worth mentioning that the crypto fear and greed index is also at a 95 as well. So I do think that it is warranted to be a little bit more cautious in this region, even though technically speaking I am still I am still bullish. Of course on the macro I'm still on the macro I'm massively bullish because you have to be right here. There's really, Bitcoin would have to do so much damage in order to really turn me around into a bear once again. We'd have to go back down below like 5,500 for me to turn into a bear. So that's probably not happening today or tomorrow or maybe the next day. I don't know. Usually I say I've seen weirder things happen. I don't know if I've seen weirder things happen than that. If we were to go back down below 5,500 today, that actually might be the weirdest thing I've ever seen in the markets. But again, I don't think it's quite likely is my point. Anyways, going over here to the monthly, which people very rarely talk about, it is worth mentioning that Bitcoin is on all oscillator front still looking pretty damn good. We do see monthly Stokes extremely erect here, painfully erect, just accelerating upwards and onwards. They're just not fucking stopping, and they'll be reaching for actually outside of the not the bullish, but the bearish control zone for the first time in literally a year actually, since June of 2018 when we dipped into the bearish control zone. So this to me is also a very big indication for the more longer term. Again, we're looking at a monthly, so we're talking about literally half a year to a year of price action here. But this did actively call the bullish momentum in 2015 as well, as you can see in August, September when Bitcoin turned around. Also, it's also worth mentioning that the monthly RSI getting back above this exponential moving average right on over here on the same dildo. I do think that at some point in time we will come back down and test that exponential on this, but for right now, still just soaring up higher and higher. In fact, this is incredibly aggressive. Holy shit, man! I feel like I just missed so many. Hey, what's up, Adler? How you doing, my friend? Again, feel free to send a message, man. But I do appreciate that, of course. Sandro says, can you advise me on Burst? I'm not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice, but I can look at Burst and I can tell you what I would do on Burst, which is probably not traded to begin with, but that's probably not the answer that you're looking for. What do I think on Burst? Right at major resistance, I'd probably be looking for a pullback within this region. I think that over time it probably does try higher as most things are trying to turn around right now. But it did hit our target from yesterday. Our target was about 90 satoshis if I recall correctly, and I would be looking for a little bit of a short-term pullback here, and perhaps continuation over time towards about 110 to 120-ish region would be my next target area. What else do we have? What's up, Manny? Krown, Money. Is Bitcoin USD chasing your subscriber count? That would be amazing, man. just moon it up, and we can both succeed. No, of course not, man. That'd be pretty awesome though. But anyways, I do want to say, man, I wish I could call out a direct name for this, but all I have is like a cartoon avatar, that's just crypto. But more importantly, on Twitter, one of our community members on Twitter sent out a mass what's it called? a mass let me just show it. Jesus Christ, man, give him credit too. One of our friends on Twitter sent out this lovely tweet right on over here at Joe Rogan, virtual anomaly. Shout out to you. Hi, need to get this guy on your podcast. That would be fucking amazing, man. If we could actually get some momentum for that, that would certainly make my year. That would make the next couple of years. Joe Rogan's a huge inspiration of mine, and that would be super cool. I'm not sure how much he cares about 79 likes, but it's a start, and starting is good enough. Anyways, back onto the let me actually take this out right on over here, and let me get back onto the comments right now, because I think it is time. And actually, I've just realized that I forgot to bring up my my restream comments over here. So just 1 second as I bring this up, I can actually go on and sidestep this on the other browser and do that right here right now. There we go. Okay, lovely. Handy Andy OG says, hey Krown, hope you're doing well. Thanks, man, I appreciate that, and hope you're doing well as well, man. Danny J Nonia says, let's get Krown on. What's Rogue? I don't know what Rogue is, man. Video Joe says the 618 ratio is also known as the golden ratio, given its widespread presence in the universe. Yeah, man, actually, when I was creating the program, the technical analysis program, I did a pretty big deep dive on the on the Fibonacci sequence, and it literally shows up in fucking everything, like things that you would never even consider, going across from multiple different species, multiple different inanimate objects as well. It just seems to show its face in every little area. Min Goski says, hey Krown, can the 3-day jewel hit critical levels if Bitcoin goes sideways? Yes, it actually can. The oscillator does the way that the oscillator is programmed. Yes, there are scenarios where price action can actually go sideways, or even down in some scenarios. But if the volatility goes up, we could see that travel up a little bit higher. Yes, that is possible. It does happen. We have a few examples in the past. Pretty rare that it does happen, but yes, it certainly can happen. So that is also another consideration. But it would start to it would still be going up, but it would also lose its slope a little bit. So right now it's quite aggressive. So it's having that momentum. And just to show it up one more time, so we can all be on the same page, but it's right on over here. Right now it's extremely aggressive. Hey, bastard, fucking TradingView. It's like my own fault, but I'm blaming TradingView. How fucking silly can I be? But yes, we see it going up extremely aggressively right now. So even if we did go sideways, it wouldn't stop going up. It would just lose its slope a little bit. So that'd be completely fine, really. And if we went into about a week or two worth of consolidation, I'd imagine we actually just slowly but surely kind of like parallel like this, and then just kind of float up into that region. And that region is right around here, around 88 to 89. But remember, this still would take weeks of price action. It would actually take even longer and still imply a little bit more up to go. So that's really what I want to get out, and back onto the lower time frames and back onto the comments, which I now have accurately brought up right over here. What's up, Christ, on Twitch, bro? That's insane. So happy for you. Yeah, man, that'd be super cool, man. That'd be super cool. Conasim says, Krown, how is volatility defined? Does it take into account wicks? Volatility is volatility. How do you explain volatility? Okay, volatility is a mean reverting oscillator that basically shows you the reversions to price over a long period of time. So it's actually not really got too much to do with that. It's more about the aggressiveness. It's more about a timing. No, it's not. That's not the right way to say it either. It's more about the timing of moves within the greater sphere of how that move actually, the aggressiveness of that move. So higher volatility would, okay, so this is a better way of saying it. Higher volatility would essentially imply that this is an extremely violent move. Like, it's happening extremely fast. Extremely low volatility would suggest that we are in an incredibly tight range, and in not having too much deviations from the mean of price action. That's probably the best way that I can really relate it. I'm probably not too good at that, but I do want to. Oh man, Hollerdoll actually just said Rogan with Novel Ravenkant was really good too. Man, I have gone on a fucking spree of looking at that guy's content. He is amazing. Seriously, check him out. He's got some great insights into just how a business mind works. Really learned a lot from him, not just from a business perspective, which he does great, but also just from a life perspective. That guy has incredibly interesting thoughts, and I need to take a sip of this water because I'm thinking that I'm thirsty as fuck. Unfortunately, Elsa is not here to refill it. I see an inverse retracement, says Mr. Spliff. It might just be, my friend. It might just be. What's up, Daddy Confetti? I see you over there on Twitch as well. DK3210 has some nice red dildo cobras. Oh, Jesus, man. Eric Gonzalez says, I sold my Bitcoin. Is it too late to buy now? I mean, it depends on what you're trying to do, man. What is your long-term, what is your long-term look, or are you long-term? Are you short-term? What are you essentially thinking? And then from there, you can devise a plan if it's too late or not. Imagine though, it's probably not too late. Let's see. Dap Future says, "What a big boy." Oh, thank you, man. Now I feel so so lovely. Twitch is so much better than YouTube, says PJ Playhouse. I agree with that. Actually, you know what? Twitch is better than YouTube for one reason and one reason only. You can actually use Bitcoin on Twitch now. At least that's what I'm told. But I have not tested it out just yet. In fact, I have no idea about it. And with so much hearsay in this market, you can never know for certain. What's up, Vanilla Face? Krown, can you please explain what you mean by filling a CME gap? What is a gap? Oh, it's just a gap in price action, man. It's no more complicated than this. So don't let it scare you. Don't let it be anything more than it is. It's literally when we have a closure. So sorry. It's typically when, or it's only when really, the market is closed. So for CMEs, they don't trade on Saturday, and they don't trade for a period on Sunday. And for each and every day, there's actually 1 hour of there's actually 1 hour of period that it actually doesn't trade either. And if the closing price is different than the next opening price, then we'll have what's called a gap right on over here. So because Bitcoin is a 24/7 market, we see spot prices go around all sorts of crazy levels, while CMEs are technically not trading. So CMEs will open up at that later date or at that later time at a completely different price action. That creates that nice gap. So filling it is when essentially, let's find an example. Filling it is like this. Okay, here's a perfect example. We have a major gap up on over here. Boom, boom. Bitcoin spends a few days, just kind of topping out. And then we have a very, very quick down. And this wick comes right into the gap. And this is called filled right here. When we see that wick, get right into the body of the last, of that last closure. So overall, that's as simple as it is. No more complicated than that. If you don't see something like that, it's probably not a gap. If it's questionable, it's probably not a gap. If you're listening to someone on crypto, on crypto Reddit, on crypto Twitter, it's probably not a gap as well from what I've seen. Holy shit, man. Some people have some great and very, very imaginative, creative minds, but also kind of strange as well. Anyways, back in the comments, and holy shit, man, I see 2,100 people on YouTube right now. I just want to say massive thank you for joining us. I want to also say welcome to the cave. Welcome to Krown's Crypto Cave. Introduce myself. My name's Krown. I do have a name sometimes. And well, hey, here we're talking about matching up money 2 times a day typically. So joining in the fun. Join the Discord as well. It's free, and we talk about all sorts of things, sometimes even Bitcoin. Chad Rose says, "Hey Krown, are there indicators included with the TA course?" Yes, there are. There are a couple. There is the Krown Trading Stochastics and also the Krown Trading DMI, which I don't typically show too often, just because I use the Joule in favor. The Joule is just a better version of basically it's kind of a conglomeration of everything, and then it's just a better version of everything on top of that. It's more optimized towards my current trading style as well. But yes, you will get access to the stochastics and also the DMI. Bitcoin looks like it wants to take another leg up right here, right now. And for that, I'll still be holding these positions long. I have no real... Come on, refresh, you fuck. Yeah, still holding these positions longs. No real reason to let go of these. And just watching this price action accelerate onwards and forwards as Bitcoin pokes its head up once again. And what I just missed now, Hey, what's up, Yas Chahel? Thanks for that, man. I do appreciate that, but please feel free to send a message, man. It's good to chat. It's all good. I always want to remind people, please do not feel obligated to donate either. Seriously, it's all good. I want to show my trades as as evidence that it's I'm not here for the YouTubes. I'm just here to trade, man. I'm just here to share my experience, have a chat, and be a part of a community, man. Because that's what's most sustainable for me, really. Anything more than that just becomes it's just not consistent with who I am, and wouldn't feel right, man. If it doesn't feel right, then it's gonna be a grind to do it each and every day, and it's like, how the fuck do you be consistent with that? You can't. I mean, I just imagine some other people, some other YouTubers who are like completely reliant on that. They must be like, some days they just must be fucking hating their life. My God, man. Anyways, back onto the comments. I do feel like I missed a shit ton right on over here. I do apologize about that. What's up, Kaz? There he is, our lovely moderator, keeping everyone safu. How you doing, my friend? Rainy says, Krown makes a Telegram group. I don't want to be on Telegram, man. I'm on too many things already. I want to decrease my things. I was even thinking about maybe even making my inbox on Discord unavailable, just because fucking hell, man. I can't keep up with the messages anymore, and it's in no way intended to be offensive to anyone out there. It's overwhelming, man. It's really overwhelming. I appreciate it. It's great. It's very, very flattering, but holy shit, man. It's like at some days, like, do I even have time to do anything for myself? Kyle Hooley says, so do you put your YouTube money in Bitcoin or silver? I don't put it in anything, man. If you notice, most of my videos have music on them, and whenever I play someone else's music on my YouTube, I actually forgo all of my YouTube advertisement revenue, so I don't even get advertisement revenue on most of my videos. Adler Gabriel says, it's my birthday today, Krown. Happy birthday, my friend. Happy fucking birthday, baby. Why do you think, sorry, oh man, I just lost your comment. Hold on. Let me let me scroll back up. Fuck, man, I'm sorry about that. It literally just zoomed across my face, and now I can't find it anymore. Is that... Damn, man, I swear, man, it is gone. It's gone. It's fucking gone. This is impossible to read right now. Holy shit. Holy fuck. What's up, Courtney? I see you, my friend. Good to have you in. Our lovely moderator as well. Crypto Monkey Gain says, Krown, just entering the stream, and my question probably got asked 24 times by now, but can you take a brief look at Link USDT? Actually, no. Let's check it out, man. Let's check it out. Link USDT, huh? And whoops, just pressed the wrong button on my own screen. I apologize about that to myself. There we go. Okay, Link USDT on Binance. And what do we have here? We have... looks good. Looks like it wants some more up. Looks like continuation to me. Overall good. Daily Stokes having a fresh cross the upside. I think that this one wants another leg up. Probably back towards 250 and beyond. One of the better charts in crypto right now. If it's rallying with Bitcoin, it's on the stronger side, and this one's certainly one of the stronger ones. Yes, I do think that it gets back up to 12.5, or sorry, not 12.5, 2.5 and beyond. Looks like it's actually preparing for another leg over the next week or so. What I just missed on over here? Sorry about that. Let me just scroll on. What's up, John Addison? How you doing, my friend? Hey, man, hit a wall with my trading ability. Checked out your programs and watched all previews. Thinking it's beneficial to do all three. I would not do all three, man. No, I really not advise to do that. Take it one at a time, man. The technical analysis program and the options program are literally 35 hours each long. You're not going to want to buy them all at once. You're going to want to soak yourself and immerse yourself in one at a time. And then if you decide you want to move on at a later time, to the next step, then you can do that. And of course, you also get a discount as well. But more importantly, man, there's no rush with it. There's absolutely no rush. So take your time with it, and I'd really suggest just really focusing on one, nailing it down, taking your time with it, and then perhaps moving on if you decide that that's the right trajectory for yourself. R6 says, oh my god, never thought of that mind-blown Bitcoin millionaire. Well, I guess I'm reading this out of context as well. What's up, Scooty Mac? I see you, my friend. Tita Knight says, Odessa is better than Deadmau. Maybe he is. Tim Sanity says, I love pig bucks and I cannot lie. I also love pig butts and also big butts. Well, depends how big. What the facts is, Krown. Can you lick your elbow? Or what did people used to say? Like you can. Hey, can you? You used to say this like to a girl with big titties. Hey, did you know that you can't touch your elbows behind your back? It's like, what? No. Genius, man. Fucking genius we were when we were kids. Anyways, back on over here. Dexter Rose says, what's with the rise in Bitcoin recently? Well, it's more buyers and sellers, my friend. More buyers and sellers, and anything else that anyone else tells you is completely just subjective, hearsay, news type retailer behavior. And really at the end of the day, the only reason my price action ever moves is because there's an imbalance of buyers and sellers. Video Joe says, Krown, viewer count just topped on fib resistance, new all-time high, and a little correction coming now. Let's have a little bit of a correction, baby. Jesse Carell says, Qdom had some news, good fundamentals. Well, it is right at resistance. I do think that it pulls back from here, and then we probably try higher a little bit later. Andres Romero says, Krown, the RSI is too high. Mom, Krown doesn't believe in divergences. I believe in divergences, but I don't believe in overbought, my friend. Let's see. Jewel Santana, what's up, man? I own Jewel, but where can I buy ByBit indicator? It's not ready. It's still in what? It's still in construction. We're still working on it, but he's kind of having his own issues right now. So I'd give it some time, man. But I'm sure whenever he's ready to release it, he'll release it, and I'll let him be the decider of that. But yeah, man, I've been absolutely loving it. I can understand why a lot of people want it. I've been getting a lot of messages about that, but it's still not available to public right now. It's just not ready. What I just missed right now? Jesus Christ, man. What's up, Jupe Bleat? Thanks for your TA. Still learning. Have some profits. Fucking nice, man. There you go. And that's exactly the way that this content is intended to be consumed. Just don't look at me as like a signals person. Don't look at me as like the end all be all. I'm not, man. I'm not a perfect trader. I'm not the best trader, and I'm also probably a different trader than most people. I have different perspectives. So taking this information, internalizing it, and then using it in your own way, that's where you're gonna have the most bang for your buck. And over time, you'll have your own style. Over the years, whatever it ends up being. Daddy Confetti says, although it's free. Unknown Ounces Krown. Do you think Bitcoin will blow through the 618? I have a feeling it will. I don't think it will, actually. My opinion is that we do not, but again, it doesn't matter what my opinion is. If we close above that level, then the next, let's actually talk about this now. Let's talk about a what if scenario. If this were to happen, what would I be thinking? So the question is, Unknown Now basically brought up a good thought experiment. He thinks that we're going to blow past the 618 Fibonacci retracement, which is at that 13,300-ish level that we just spoke about during the beginning of the stream, and outlined with all the major resistances, not just the fibs, but also major resistances from late 2017, also volume profile, also measure moves, and also expected moves from a standard deviation perspective. So I would say it's probably unlikely that this does happen, but if it did happen, if we actually did blow past the 618 Fibonacci retracement, we close some higher level dildos above there, daily, 2-day, 3-day, weekly, anywhere above 13,300, 13,500, then yes, I think that we'd have another major massive leap, probably towards 15,000, 16,000 would be the next target, really. 16,000 would be the next one on the line. So at that point in time, man, to me, it's, we said this after the 0.5, actually, right on over here, that generally, we can talk about short-term targets, but the overall feeling of this is bullish, and the overall trajectory is bullish. So I'm only just looking to be buying, pullbacks. I'm not looking to short any of these areas, especially after we got above this area right on over here. And what I just missed on the YouTubes. Sorry about that. Screaming across my screen. Hey, thanks for that, my friend Nick Kukaraza. Hopefully I'm saying that properly. Boz says, what do you think about Bitcoin potentials fundamentally? What does that even mean? Bitcoin's potentials fundamentally. Oh, you mean like those crazy numbers that people talk about? Okay, so fundamentals for Bitcoin basically come down to this, because we don't have earnings reports, we don't have dividends, we don't have CEOs, we don't have forwards outlooks, we don't have conference calls, we don't have anything that really constitutes real fundamentals. So the best way to judge fundamentals for Bitcoin is, I guess, going off the miners, but that's also not the best idea, because the miners are all the Bitcoin's gonna be mined in the next 100 years or so. And on top of that, well, everything fundamentally is already known. It's already known. It's not a variable. It's a known constant, right? You know how many Bitcoins are going to be. So there's only ever going to be 21 million, and you know the rate at which they're going to be mined, and you know when the halving dates are. So that's all set in stone. And my point is that fundamentally speaking, if you're talking about the very, very optimistic price targets, in the 100,000s, in the millions, all that kind of stuff, we can talk about that. But I don't really feel like. I feel like when I do that, it's just going to spread a lot of FOMO, and while it is certainly possible, yes, absolutely, because of that scarcity, it would also come into other major macro events, macro economic events. Like when we get into those numbers like $100,000 plus, we're going to start to talk about the collapse of the dollar. We're going to start to talk about the collapse of just fiat currencies in general, and Bitcoin taking over as like a one world currency if that were to happen. Now, do I have an opinion on that? I do think that the world does veer off into adopting a one world currency. I think that over time that does seem like some that would be useful for all of humanity essentially, and there is going to be a network effect of this sort of thing. So just by people really getting into this and holding on to it right now, there is, it really doesn't take too much to pull something into existence. We spoke about it yesterday very briefly, but the network effect, and it's something like the square multiple of the actual number of people using it. And there's been some studies done that it takes about like 3% of the population using something to actually cause a big enough network effect to just take over the whole fucking space. So for example, Facebook, great network effect. People think that they're just going to subvert Facebook by saying, I hate Facebook, I'm going to go to, whatever it is. Well, that's not going to happen. There's too many people using Facebook. So with each and every person, using that, it becomes more and more likely that the next person uses it. Something like language, we could do another case study with that as well. Most of the world is kind of leaning towards English or Chinese, I suppose, as well, but mostly English, because the more and more people that learn it, the more and more people want to learn it. The more and more people have to learn it in order to get around. And the same thing for Bitcoin. The more and more people who start to demand their paychecks in Bitcoin, well, then you're gonna have a network of effect there, because when some very prominent people start doing that, if they were to start doing that, like perhaps in Silicon Valley where all the crypto product, not all of them, but most of the crypto projects are, then now you have a lot of very wealthy people holding a lot of fucking Bitcoin, and that just brings it in even more so. So that's what I'd say fundamentally speaking. That's as far as I can really go fundamentally. Anything else would have to come down to like the actual coding of Bitcoin, and I'm not qualified to speak on that. I'm not a coder, I'm not a programmer. Go check out Ivan on Tech for that. Ivan on Tech is fucking amazing. He's a genius, and he can actually decipher that sort of talk. I cannot. And more importantly, he can decipher that sort of talk and then relate it back in English, which is double impressive because he's Swedish himself. So English isn't even his native language, although he speaks fucking perfectly. It's very impressive, because very rarely do you get a programmer who can both speak computer language and also just the common tongue as well, and he can do that, man. So anything outside of that, I'm just gonna refrain from talking about, because I'm just not the person to talk about it, man. I'd just be misguided and probably saying things wrong. Official says Ethereum. Yeah, we can look at Ethereum. In fact, Ethereum's looking pretty damn good. Ethereum, where's Mr. Buterol? There we go, 329. Higher time frames look very good for Mr. Buterol. I would say that medium-term target of about 370-ish range, 370 to 380 on medium term, and a little bit longer term, I'd be looking at a target of around 460-ish region. But in the lower time frames right now, we're just getting continuation right now. That's all it is. We have seen more major moving averages migrate above that blue 377x moving average. So again, another example of something, you know, kind of similarly crawling up and matching up to Bitcoin, as we saw right on over here. You know, with all these moving averages just kind of migrating above. That offers up a nice bullish posturing. And going back to whoops, sorry, that was the wrong chart. We need to go to Mr. Buterol on BitMEX right now, because Finex is not trading right now. But massive girthy green dildo, and we are going to be hitting that next target area relatively soon at around, again, 370 to 380-ish region. And this just looks fine to me. Daily Stokes still up and at 'em. Daily RSI going to be creating some various divergence, but needs to put in a local top first, and that would still imply that we still have some more upside to go. Let's go over here to the 2-day for a second. 2-day looking like continuation. 3-day continuation. Weekly continuation. All is well and good, man. Let me go check out what I just missed on over here. Hey, what's up, Charlie? How you doing, my friend? All the fundamentals moon boys living in mom's basement will soon be able to pay rent. That's right, mom. I'm gonna upgrade to pizza from fucking chicken tendies, you lazy bitch. You're gonna have to bake that shit in an oven from now on. And don't even ask me what I'm gonna do with these nanos when they start getting going. I'm I don't even want to finish that sentence first and foremost before I got kicked off YouTube. Anyways, back onto Bitcoin. Looks like we did just come back down and test that support on the very low time frames. Let's go check out how that's doing. And we do see, yes, once again. Oh, wow, that one actually got all the way down to 12,625. But remember that, oh, I guess I'm on the wrong chart. Here it is. This is the horizontal to be aware of right here. We actually do see a little bit of a ping pong along these supports and resistances 1 and 2. And still holding it up. We got 2 minutes and 5 seconds left to go on this baby. This is a 30-minute. This is extremely low time frame bullshit. But I know that there's a lot of people out there trading crack time frames right now because, well, it's fun right now. Really is the right answer. Anyways, what did I just miss on over here? Sorry about that. Hey, what's up? What's up, Dakota? Thanks for that, Dakota. Massive appreciation for that, my friend. What else we got? Salty says you have over 21,000 followers. Everyone who loves you and massive green dildos needs to like that tweet and get you on Joe Rogan. The KCC Army call to action. Man, that would be super cool. But again, I want to say true and consistent to my own identity. I never want to force people into doing anything. I can only let you know that, hey, I would love to fucking do that, but I would never want anyone to feel like I'm forcing someone, because I know what it feels like when fucking people yell in my ear saying, hit that like, hit that subscribe, you are pathetic, you need to smash the likes, smash your face, smash everything! All that bullshit just gives you a fucking headache, man. I hate it, and I don't want to be that person. And if you know who I'm referencing right there, you'll know that we're in a super parabolic bull market when his subscriber count starts to go parabolically up once again. And we can actually chart that if you do want to chart it, but going to take a little bit of preparation to get that one up. In fact, you know what? Let's stop fucking around. I'll bring it up right now. Let me get on my other screen right over here, and let's see if we can reveal this lovely man who will remain still unnamed, but we can look at his channel just really quick. And let me just pull this up again, taking its time on the fucking internet. There it is. Okay, and we're actually we're gonna chart this unnamed man right on over here. This is great. All right, so I won't even say the name. I won't even say the name. That's how famous he is. But looking at this, we do see that his subs are still going down. But more importantly, looking at the chart for his subs hit a parabolic high in January of 2018, which was at about 3. Oh my God, sorry, that was views, but still on subs, he got about 50,000. Oh my God, 50,000 subs in January 2018, and it's actually starting to slowly curl back up. So perhaps this could be the early warning sign that this market market is once again getting back up. And I would say that this is actually a pretty damn good indicator, to be fair, because these sorts of things do show what the general retailer is looking at. And if the general retailer, the general public is coming in and seeing stuff like this, well, you can imagine that the herd is coming once again. So anyways, back onto the comments right on over here. Let's see what else we got, man. What's up, Dazfire? How you doing? Get out of alt, says Frank Ingalls. Let's go look at the alt, basically the alt index in the way that I think of it, the Bitcoin dominance chart. So the Bitcoin dominance chart, we've been saying this for a while, that this thing is bullish as fuck, and this thing is bullish as fuck. I mean, we're just breaking out right now. I don't really have anything new to say here. We've been bullish on this for a long time, and this is why I've been saying I don't really trust alts versus Bitcoin right now. I think that versus US dollar, they probably do pretty well, but versus Bitcoin, not so much. And next major resistance is actually significantly higher, right around about 65.5 to 66 would be the first target, and second target is actually going to be all the way at 70, which we do have a nice measure move off of this bull flag right on over here, pointed directly right up there, matching up with the weekly 200 exponential moving average as well. So I would have to say that this is a little bit scary right here. A little bit scary here for alt, and let's just go see how like the general alt is looking like. I always like to pick on Cardano, not because I hate Cardano or anything like that. It's just it just accurately gets it just accurately represents the majority of alts versus Bitcoin, and they're gonna look something like this, just making lower highs and lower lows for the eternity of eternity. And with the Bitcoin dominance chart looking bullish still while they're hanging on to their lows, would suggest that we probably have a little bit more pain to come. Although at this point, what I can say about alts is this. I do think that alts get those lovely moves that you've seen in the past, those crazy moves, but something first needs to happen. We need to see Bitcoin put in a local top first, and right now we just don't have that. In fact, Bitcoin consolidating at this area right here does make it start to look a little bit better. Oh man, this is just getting crazy. But my point is that if and when Bitcoin does put in its next local top, that's going to be the point to probably enter into alt, and that's when you're probably going to see those nice momentous moves. But for right now, Bitcoin's still trending, and that is scary for alt in this area. Okay, looks like I need to refresh this. That is not refreshed. Come on, baby, come on. And let me just get back on over here to my Streamlabs. And what do we got? Gooey says, Krown, does Bitcoin Dom look like a massive inverted head and shoulders? You could say that. You could say that, yes. I don't diagnose it as such because I don't really like playing patterns, and more importantly, I really don't like playing patterns on a more obscure chart like this. Is it an inverted head and shoulders? You could make the argument for it. Yes, you could make the argument for it. Double head, left shoulder, right shoulder. That's okay. But more importantly, all of the tentacles from higher time frames look bullish. This is your monthly right here. The monthly just regained the yellow 21 exponential moving average, and looks like clear skies for a little while to me. Looks pretty damn good, really. Jesus Christ, man. Powerful Dom. Powerful Bitcoin dominatrix. Let's see. Serious Laugh. What's up, Serious Laugh? Sir, if on the sidelines and looking to enter over the next couple of months, what would you look for? Consolidation off major support areas? This PA is like a kick in the nuts every day from out here. Oh, well, that's the whole point of it, man. It's supposed to test you. It's supposed to induce FOMO. It's supposed to play with your emotions and get you into an emotional state where you make bad decisions. Of course, that's the market. That's the market speaking right now. And also to liquidate a lot of the over-aggressive shorts as well. But more importantly, what I'd say, if you're on a longer-term time schedule, what I'd be paying attention to is the weekly and the monthly. The weekly, the next time that we see a major move back down to a prior high, like around here at around 10,000, a nice pivot right there, and about 8,500, those would be nice areas. And then also the monthly, if and when the monthly does come back down on and tap the exponential on this RSI, I would be willing to call another major buy for my own account for a more long-term position. But as you can see right now, we're well and far away from that area, so it ain't happening anytime soon. But yeah, maybe. I mean, how soon could this happen? We're still in continuation. I mean, we need to first put in a local top, then get follow through. So that's going to take at least a few months, and then put in a bottom somewhere probably around the yellow 21 exponential moving average, wherever that comes in around, and that could be months away. So that's going to be able to travel up into like the 8,000s, 9,000s probably. That's what I'd say about that, man. It's a long ways away. So if you are going to play the long-term game, you do have to stop yourself from getting into that more emotional mind space. And here's the thing, man, we all deal with this. We all deal with this as traders, as investors. If you're just a fucking human being, you deal with emotions. We're all basically programmed in essentially the same way. I mean, maybe if you're a sociopath, you don't feel those same emotions, but you get my point, right? Pretty much every normal human being has these emotions, and that is the purpose of the market, to get the most people into emotional state, because in an emotional state, you're going to be blocked off in your actual brain. You're going to be blocked off from making rational, logical decisions. It's, it has to do with your different thinking systems, but which I'm not qualified to speak on that either, and I don't want to say things that are completely wrong. There's probably people in this, in this chat who know way more than me on that, but I do know that, I do know that fact. So you do want to, draw yourself away from that. It's good that you recognize that. It's good that you have the awareness. Now you just need to, stick steady to it. So the way that I typically get around that is better seen in the psychological series on YouTube, but I can briefly say it here. Create a trading journal. Create a trading journal where you talk about all of the things that you need to see in order to know a good entry for yourself. That's how you kind of subvert those FOMO emotions, by having in writing what you are going to do. Okay, what I just missed now, I feel like I missed some on Twitch. Let me get on Twitch. I want to show Twitch some love as well. What's up, Spliv? What's up, AK11? I see you, my friend. AK11 says, Krown, my name is AK11MK, and we are watching you on Twitch. What's up, my Twitch friends? Holy shit, man, Twitch is blowing up right now as well. That's lovely, man. Fucking love Twitch. Oh, the purple pleasure just growing in all of its entirety. Trevor Collins says, all you guys asking where to trade 100x should not be trading leverage. You will wreck yourself. Yeah, I would not suggest trading anything more than like 3x or 4x. Yes, I did use pretty high leverage on my streamer account, but that was for a demonstration purpose. I would not consider that real trading. I would consider that more like for YouTube, just to just put something out there. But for the majority of people, there's really no reason ever to go over like 3 or 4x in my opinion. I mean, shit, even more than 5x is like, that's crazy. That's fucking crazy, man. In traditional markets, when I was a market maker authorized trader on the floor of New York Stock Exchange, ARCA, we didn't even have access to more than 4x leverage. You couldn't use that much. And very rarely did anyone even go up that high to begin with. And you don't get to choose your fucking leverage by like, okay, so I'm going to just put my slider here from 1 to 4. It's like, no, it doesn't work like that. It's all cross. Okay, Frank Engel says, just going to use a trailing stop 200 below and just keep re-entering every time I get stopped out until the top confirms. Boring or what? Well, you might bleed a slow death, but if you have enough bandages, you could be okay. Let's see. Elias Buhot says, Krown, doesn't it seem like a fall off and subsequent re-entry into a bullish flag confirming a bullish signal? Yes, I would say so. Yes. This structure is still fine, man. It's still fine here. Like I said, as long as we're closing 30-minute dildos above, or even hourly dildos above this 12,700 region right here, I think that direction is still a little bit more to the upside. Still looking at 13,300 most likely. Okay, Maynock Jane says, can't we go into fiat into USD? Can't we go fiat into USD on Deribit? Our balance always stays in Bitcoin. So like, even if we aren't in position and Bitcoin dumps 30%, we lose money. Technically, yes, but here's the thing, man. What if you put on a short equal to your account's value at that same price point? Then you'd be protecting your account's value in Bitcoin, right? So you'd be protecting your account's value in Bitcoin. So you'd be making actually more Bitcoin to account for that loss in US dollars. So you have now more Bitcoin, but it's worth less, but you have more. So it's equal to what you started at and what you hedged at. That's how you cover yourself on an account like, or on an exchange like Deribit. I'm getting a lot of questions like this as well. This is all in my Deribit tutorial video, which is somewhere in the deep annals of my of my YouTube, but explained there in depth. And more importantly, a lot of people just been asking me about Deribit in general. It's my favorite exchange because you can trade spot there, because you can trade futures there, and also because you can trade options as well, which I need. I need to be able to trade options in order to feel safe in a sense. It's kind of a little bit of a crutch for myself, but hey, options are the bread and butter of my game. That is where I've come from in a professional sense. So I do have a link to this to Deribit in the description of this video. Of course, you don't need to use the link. It's an affiliate link, but it does. I believe it does give about some odd percentage off your off your trading fees. So it actually does account for more money in your pocket. But again, I never want to feel like I'm forcing anyone to do anything. And more importantly, if you want to just type it in the top of your browser, I'm not gonna be fucking mad, man. It's all good. It's all fucking good, man. Anyways, Raphael says, what EMA SMA are you using? He says, yo, motherfucker. It's like, nice way to address someone. What EMA SMA are you using? I'll show you right here. 2150, 89, 200, 377, 10, 200. There you go. Get that question all the million times too. And then I get people who get really mad if I don't answer that question. It's like, hey man, it's out on the internet there. It's if I spend all day answering those questions, I'm never gonna get anything done. Let's see. Manny Alvarez says, greetings, Krown. Hope all is well with you. Hope all is well with you, man. How you doing, Manny? Mr. Dard says, I have 20 minutes to do something about my Ethereum ETF holdings. Your Ethereum ETF holdings. What do you mean Ethereum ETF holdings? I'm not aware of an ETF on Ethereum. Elias says, what do you think of ByBit? Never had problems yet. I think ByBit is decent. I can't use it as my main exchange, but I do like it as a scalping exchange. There's no futures there, so I kind of feel naked. So for real trading, for longer term positions, I don't prefer that exchange. I prefer Dribit, but for the rest, for scalping, yeah, it's fine. It gets the job done, and no system overload, so that's good as well. Anton says, Krown, do you think the retracement could be a violent dildo down and then back up, or do you expect the retracement to play out over a long time, like weeks? Probably over a couple weeks. I mean, when Bitcoin's been bullish and just going essentially straight up for all intents and purposes for the last 6 months, it's gonna take us some time to play out some downside as well. The actual last spike down to the low of that area probably does feel like it just takes 5 seconds or 5 minutes, but over the longer period of time, the actual top, between the top and then the bottom of that consolidation, probably going to take its time, a couple weeks, I'd imagine. Again, not something that I'd hold true to, but if you want to do some mental masturbation with me right now, that's what I'd say. Simply Gain says, can the RSI pump higher to avoid divergence? Yeah, it can. It can. Matty G says, we're going up. That's it. All right. Just turn your computer around if that starts to not be the case. Victor says, the 618 is at 3,600. 13,600 on BitMEX. No, I disagree with you. Well, let's actually confirm this first, because I was doing it on GDAX. Let's confirm this. Is the 618 at that level? No, this is not right here. Let's do it. Let's actually get it exactly right. So the high is about on BitMexico, right around there. The low is right here. Would I agree with that? Nope, I'd still disagree with that. 13,300, actually a few shades below that, and that's giving it a little bit more of a lenient area as well. So no, I'd respectfully disagree with that. Kunal says, hey Krown, can you check out Bcash USD on Coinbase? Yeah, sure, man. I gotcha. Rising wedge on the daily, I'd say that's unlikely to play out, man. I'd be very, 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 very careful with that. Most of this market wants to go up, and I'd say that Bcash is no different. $500. So hit our first target last week. I'd say the next target is going to be somewhere right around about 550. Wherever this area is. No, about 540. Yeah, about 540. First target. Second target is going to be about $600. We'll call it. No, it's yeah. You can call this a rising wedge, and I'm sure a lot of bears are going to call this a rising wedge. But I would really strongly suggest to let go of pattern trading, especially when you're playing counter trend patterns. Counter trend patterns to the overall macro trend, which macro trend up pattern would be on the bear side. I've seen so many people get this wrong. The second that this thing gets back above 540, this thing's going to have a pretty nice move. Again, most of this market moves together, and this market wants to move to the upside, is what it looks like to me. So that's why I would not, I'd really kind of subvert that and not and probably not play that position. Windy Brown Eye says, is there anywhere that streams Bitcoin One live? I mean, you can buy the package on TradingView. Jorge says Tron USDT up to $1. We entered into one all season. I mean, is Tron going to go up to $1? I mean, not anytime soon, man. Not anytime soon. Daily on, this is Tron versus Bitcoin. Let's do Tron versus USD on, I guess Binance is the best one to do. And what do we have here? I am bullish on Tron, but to $1, I mean, no, I'd not say $1. I'd say probably, at the most like 5 cents, 5.2 cents. Longer term, maybe 10 cents. 25 cents is like its ultimate high. I mean, it's got a lot of work to do, man. I don't know about a dollar. Maybe we can come back to that. We can come back to that idea in a couple of years, maybe. But for right now, nowhere near the topic of conversation. In fact, let me actually refresh this. And what time moon, please? Oh, I have it just right on here on my watch clock. We have a hair prostifecal, exactly the time that I'm looking for. Goddamn moonshot. Hey, what's up, cat mother? How you doing? 50 cents, 50 satoshis actually. Ahmet says EOS USD, please. Yeah, we can look at that. What's EOS doing? EOS a little bit of a laggard as well from last I looked. Where's my EOS here? Come on, EOS. There you are, 730, but working its way up and is starting to turn around. It looks like I would be bullish on EOS here. I do think that we see a move towards $7.5 and probably beyond. Ultimately, my kind of medium-term target is about $8.10 region, right around here. But looks like it's getting picked up. Looks like it's getting walked up. I think that this is a nice consolidation and going to work its way a little bit higher here. Overall, fine. Going to follow the rest of the market, not leading though. What else we got? iFiani says 14,800, then 16,666 this week. Can range percent What? No, I would strongly disagree with that, man. Extremely low probability for that. That would put us even above the second standard deviation and even above the third standard deviation. So literally from a mathematical perspective, that is less than a 1% chance to happen for that. I'd have to respectfully disagree, my friend, but maybe I might be being trolled. Back onto the comments over here. Hey, refresh, motherfucker. They're moving so fast, it won't even refresh them. I've got to go the old-fashioned way. Sam says, Krown! What's up, Sam? Can you talk about moving from Bitcoin to Ethereum as in my comment on the last stream? Oh, yeah. Okay, so that was you. Is there a good time to move from Bitcoin to Ethereum? Well, the chart that you're going to be wanting to look at is the Ethereum versus Bitcoin chart, most appropriately, right on over here. And we see it at 0.0268. And what do we see on the daily, perhaps? We do see that it is bouncing off of a major support. So this area is an area of long-term consideration, and I would expect to bounce here, but it is very difficult for me to suggest that going into Ethereum right now is a good idea, because the Bitcoin dominance chart is still looking good. Even though Ethereum spot charts are starting to look more bullish, are starting to really take legs up, that would overall be a good thing. But technically, we are in a little bit of a descending triangle right here as well. So it depends, really. I wouldn't be entering into Ethereum versus Bitcoin until we actually take out this level right here at about 3 million Satoshis. If you can close above 3 million Satoshis, then yes, the thing probably does bottom out and we work our way much higher. But for right now, still under pressure, and I'd say that this is, I mean, you can play a position here. It's a very easy way to manage risk, right around 0.026 even. But the second that you go below that area, I'd be out of that trade, because this thing is likely to go much lower if that were to happen. So right now, technically you can play a position, but I do think that you're making life unnecessarily hard for yourself, and trying to be a bottom fisher has wrecked a lot more people than just buying a simple uptrend, in my experience. What's up, Magpie? I see you, my friend. Chat pause due to scroll. Holy shit. What's up, Passanel? Thank you for the triangles, my friend. Do you cancel date night with Elsa when Bitcoin is having one of its violent tantrums? She understands, my friend. She understands, and she also is a big fan of boobs, and I will be buying her some massive pairs of moon boobs if and when Bitcoin gets to $20,000. So I'm sure that she's actually quite excited about that. So there you go. You have to put some on it as well. That's the trick, my friends. That's the trick. XLM, if you can, says Yang Yang. Hey man, I really appreciate the awareness, but yeah, we can certainly look at it. Why not? XLM, where are you, baby? Where are you? There it is. XLM. Well, do you want to look at it versus USD or Satoshis? We'll look at it versus USD, because that's going to be a lot better chart than the Satoshi chart. Again, the Satoshi chart for many things not looking too damn good. So we are in a bull flag here, and we are testing the upper resistance of this bull flag, and we just created a series of higher lows. So I do like this, and I do think that it actually breaks this guy to the upside soon, like probably this week, actually. Daily stocks crossing back up to the upside, working their way through the neutral zone. I do think that this one does take a leg towards 15 cents first, and then 18 cents a little bit later on. So first target 15 cents, second target 18 cents, and it does look like it's getting ready to blow relatively soon. Getting right towards this trend line. If we can close a daily anywhere around 13 cents, I would be looking for these next legs to take place. So yeah, Stellar actually starting to turn around and looking okay. Looking okay here versus the dollar. Bitcoin itself, come on, baby. What are you doing? Are you going to pull through? Are you going to pull through, or are you going to disappoint all people right now? All people. Okay. What else do we got, baby? What else do we got? Sarah Bisto says link BTC. Yeah, we can look at that really quick. What do we got on over here? Hey, what's up, AAP? Hello. Anyone there? Hello. How you doing, my friend? Let's see. Link BTC. Yeah, getting beat up with the rest of the alts. I do think that we probably pop back down and test around 15,500 Satoshis and then bounce from there. That's really all I have to say. But versus US dollar looks very good. One of the best charts in the game. One of the best charts over a long period of time, but does look like it has a little bit of downside here. That's really all I have to say right now. Back onto the Bitcoins and back onto the comments. What's up, Tony? How you doing, my friend? Hey, Krown, any chance you could use the Geo on Ethereum USD 3-day chart? Yeah, no problem. Although I don't know if it holds as much merit, because Ethereum hasn't been around for as long as Bitcoin, but let's check it out. Does it have enough time to populate this? Yeah, actually it does. Okay, it does work. But I can't say that it works the same on Ethereum that it works on Bitcoin in the idea that I postulated earlier in this video. But yeah, it does look like it wants to work its way up here. It is extremely aggressively sloped to the upside, so that typically will overshoot the pink and probably work its way into the more critical zone. So yes, it would be suggesting some more upside here. The 3-day jewel is in a bullish posturing. By the way, 3-day 200 simple right around $400 even. So that is going to be a major area of consideration on the upside. I would be looking for I would be looking to close positions around there. And I just missed some on Twitch. Let me get back on over there. What's up, AK11MK? I demand to see what 20,000 Bitcoin boobs would look like. Actually, I think that Elsa's not shy, man. She'll be happy to show on Discord. Sure, man, sure. No problem. Real Spin says, motherfucker, do you ever buy coins which are really low market cap? No, I never buy anything that's actually not called Bitcoin. In fact, me again says Real Spin to win. All good, man. Real Spin to, great name, man. Great fucking name. Chris Smith says, Krown, I have a large bag of Litecoin and I'm waiting to move into Bitcoin. Would you do it now or wait a little bit? Well, the chart to be looking at for that is the Litecoin Bitcoin pairing, right? So let's go see if that chart's looking good or not. And that's going to probably be the decider for that. And what do we have? Ooh, man. So Litecoin closed below that critical level that we spoke about yesterday, and we're getting continuation to the downside as expected. Jesus Christ, man. Bad. Real fucking bad. Weekly is right on the 200 simple, so I do think that we bounce here. Actually, do think that we try a little bit of a bounce attempt here, but this next weekly closure is going to be absolutely critical. If Litecoin fails to close above or bounce even a little bit above this basically 1 million Satoshi region right here by end of week, I would be very, 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 very bearish on this because this is going to get another death cross as these are so fucking close to each other. And this is still lower highs and essentially same lows, but it's technically slightly lower low right here. I would be careful with it, man. So this is gonna be the big pivot on that. If this loses by end of week, I would not want to be in Litecoin. I'll put it that way. It doesn't mean that the dollar pairing can't still go up. It certainly can, as the dollar pairing does look okay here. It's certainly not the leader in the market, but it does look okay. It does look like it wants to try a little bit of upside, maybe back to like 141, 140-ish region. But it is a laggard right now in the market. It did lead to the upside, about 6 months ago, but hasn't really done too much since. So that is not very confidence-inducing, and the ratio also looking a little bit like a sick puppy as well. And I feel like I just missed someone over here. What's up, Just Murphy? XRP 30 cents. No, I think it actually goes up from here. Again, I'm not an XRP hater or an XRP lover. I'm not a part of the XRP army, but I do think that it probably has some upside. Fadi says, what are your thoughts on converting my Bitcoin into XRP? Well, let's look at the XRP Bitcoin chart and let's see if that's a good idea. Which one's going to be winning out? And converting, it's called trading, my friend. Again, understand what you're doing, man. You're trading. You're literally trading. You're not converting shit. You're trading. You're trading your Bitcoins for ripples, for drops, or whatever the fuck it's called, or rapids, or I don't even know. Chart looks awful. Very, 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 very bad chart for the XRP versus Bitcoin pairing. On the XRP USD pairing, I'd be bullish on this though. So I do think that XRP versus US dollar goes up, but the Bitcoin pairing, not looking too hot. So would you be making more money holding Bitcoin or XRP? Well, that would suggest actually such Bitcoin. CJ Rita says 20,000 Bitcoin. Are we having a yacht party? Fuck yeah, man. We got to do something more special than that. Something more special than that, my friend. Something more special than that. Jesus Christ, man. The time is actually flying by right now. It's already 6:22. It looks like. Back onto the comments right on over here. Scooty Max says Litecoin, Bitcoin. Each time it's broken the 200-day SMA, it's corrected about 57% the last 3 times. Yeah, that's not good statistics on your side, man. That's bad. Holy shit, man. Okay. All right. Frank Engel says, Krown, set up a multi-sig wallet, public address for people to donate in. Hey, man, I'm not interested in doing that, man. I don't need any more money. So we can donate Bitcoin for the ground beef and water at the Krown Moon Boobs party. I appreciate that, man. I really do appreciate that, but it's all good, man. It's all good. Let's see. What else we got, man? Inverted Quasimodo. What's up, man? Just landed here from the future to get you back there. Elsa and kids are looking for you, dude. Really? Is that you, Doc Brown? Holy shit, man. I never knew I'd meet a time traveler in my life. Precious Paradise says aloha and cool rainy breezes from the big eye. Oh, you're from Hawaii. Awesome, man. Hey, very cool, man. Very cool. Usually sleeping here during your waking hours. Super grateful for all the gifts you keep giving. Hey, man, my pleasure. And holy shit, man. You live in what's funny, man? I was actually yesterday looking online with Elsa on YouTube on just videos of Maui and Honolulu and all the other islands, man. And wow. Holy shit, man. That place is a fucking gem. That place is seriously a gem. I mean, Hawaii is completely different to anywhere else I think I've seen. Maybe there's a place in Southeast Asia, but I'm not aware of those ones either. But holy shit, man, Hawaii is just a fucking it's like a paradise utopia. Holy shit, it looks amazing. You are living in a fucking you're living in a dream every goddamn day, man. Enjoy that, man. Fucking enjoy that. Justin Worthington says, Bitcoin, please. Sorry, I just got here. Oh, I'm glad you asked. Still flagging out this high level, still holding it high, and I would say that short-term direction is still to the upside. As long as we hold above this horizontal right here on the lower time frames, if we do close an hourly below about 12,700, I do think that Bitcoin probably comes back down to about 12,400-ish region. But for right now, hanging it high and looking like it does want to take another leg up here. Hourly Stokes are pointed back up to the upside, and we do have a nice trend line formed on this nice regression right out over here, which we have gotten picked up once again. So it is getting respected, and more importantly, that has been a damn good indication for the last 6 months. I know it sounds a little bit too easy to be true. I do have some different settings on these guys, 12 through 6, but it's just one of those things that when your edge works, you fucking follow your edge, especially with the overall macro trend, which has been incredibly good. Owen Prescott says Philippines. Never been there, man. One of my good friends from Philippines, though. Wonder if he's listening right now. Progress says just don't get eaten by a shark in Hawaii. Fair enough. That'd be a good idea as well. And I can take a sip of this water while you think about those thoughts. There we go. Handy Andy OG says, hey, Krown, I hope you're doing well. Thanks, man. Hope you're doing well as well, man. Will retweet the Joe tweet. Oh, man. Massive thank you for that. Massive thank you. What is your take on the shorts still being so high on the daily? Could we overshoot the 618 due to it? That would be on the more bullish side, yes. So what our friend here is referring to is this. We do have a lot of shorts that are trapped. We have about 29,000 shorts. We're actually starting to build up. Well, no, longs are coming down right now, actually, funnily enough. But we do have about 29,000 open shorts. And if we look at it on a chart format, you will notice very quickly that shorts are starting to get into a little bit more of a historical area where they do get a little bit top heavy. And when the shorts get top heavy, well, what does that essentially imply? Well, it implies that we have too much pressure, too much people trapped, and, well, now the liquidation engine can begin. If you're liquidating shorts, then you're going to be forcing them into be buyers. So anywhere above 30,000, I do identify the shorts as being, quote-unquote high. Anywhere above 40,000 is critically high, looking for a major, massive move. And right now, we're just a shade underneath 30,000 open shorts. And more importantly, most of these guys trapped all the way back down towards June 12th, June 11th, June 12th, and then even more aggressively right around June 17th, June 18th, which on price action, these guys are trapped all the way back down over here at around at around $8,000 and around about $9,500. So again, that is a big problem for a lot of these guys, and that does offer up the potential for market movers to quite literally drive the market just straight up to liquidate these guys. In fact, a great article came out in I believe it was either Barron's or Wall Street Journal this morning, talking about all of the institutional shorts actually on CMEs, which is very, very funny because the retailers have been small long the whole way up, and the the professionals and and the institutions have actually been trying to short, and they're just getting wrecked left, right, and center. So hey, if a lot of people hold like institutions in some sort of like godlike sense, they're not, man. They're just people. They're just fucking people, man. And I can tell you that straight up because I used to work around some of these people. They are people. They make mistakes, and a lot of them getting absolutely fucking shreked this whole way up as well. So that is something to consider as it's just more momentum being gained. We do have that rocket fuel, and it does exist right now. So yes, that could be a potential. That would be probably the most bullish thing on the table right now. Taking us past that next level. But again, I do feel like we probably do lose momentum around that area. I don't think that we overtake it on the first pass. I do think that we back off on it and probably do initiate some counter trend activity. Alrighty. Mr. Amnesium, what's up, man? Hi, Krown. Very happy I met you. Hey, man, thanks. You made massive progress on my trading. I will send you my girlfriend's moon boobs if Bitcoin reaches 20,000. All right. I'll keep them right in my hands, nice and safe and warm. Hey, what's up, Caretaker? Our trusty Safu moderator, keeping everyone lovely. AAP super chatted how to gauge Ethereum's movement in terms of Bitcoin having bullish, bearish. Oh, sorry about that, man. I didn't realize I missed that. It is moving quite fast right now. Okay, so how to gauge Ethereum's movements in terms of Bitcoin. Well, right now, I don't think it's actually appropriate to do that. I think it's more appropriate to just look at Mr. Buterin. Mr. Buterin is starting to really rev his engines, and I do think that Mr. Buterin is getting ready for his own little run. So I wouldn't really be looking at at Mr. Buterin himself. If anything, I'd look at the ratio, as that's going to directly tell you, which the ratio does not look good here. Well, the ratio is actually, you know what? You might have a potential bottoming play right here. We do have a nice long-legged doji off a major support. So you could take a trade here, and it is a legitimate setup. It's valid. Yes, it is valid, and you play your risk. A stop loss right below here is fine. And let the chips fall where they may. But just looking at Mr. Buterol's chart to begin with, I don't think I think that Bitcoin has kind of accelerated so far past a lot of these other altcoins that it's best to judge them one-on-one, because this one's starting to just get going, so it's a little bit on the stronger side, but target's still in this region about 370 to 400. Sorry, 375 to 400. Out of focus. Oops, sorry about that. Just missed another one right on over here. What's up, G15? ICX BTC bottom formation. Your thoughts? All right. All right, let's go check it out. I'd probably at the outset say unlikely that it is bottoming. Do we have? Oh, we actually have a similar thing over here as we did on Mr. Buterol. A nice long-legged doji right on the lows. But the thing is, I wouldn't be willing to call this a potential local low until we get continuation to the upside. So first things first, this daily doodle needs to set itself in stone. Then we need to trade above the high of this daily doodle, which is at 308 satoshis. Then we can talk about a short-term, at the very least, a short-term reversal back up to like 340, 350. About 350 first target, 380 second target, and then we'll reassess from there. But right now, this thing is just straight down. This is a god awful chart, making lower lows and lower highs in an exaggerated format over a long period of time. I really don't like that. Better things to be in right now. Even though I do, once Bitcoin finds its local top, then we can talk about altcoins doing well versus Bitcoin. But for right now, I think that Bitcoin still is just a little bit more to go. I do think so. I would be willing to call a local top here if we trade back down below $12,000. But for now, I'd still be rolling with the former trend, because the trend is your friend until the end of the trend, as the saying goes. And back onto the, oh, Jesus, man. Hey, what's up, Mad Mining? How you doing, my friend? Do you ever look at the 24-hour mempool data for directional hints on upcoming moves? Love the show, dude. Never a dull moment. Hey man, thanks. And do I do that? No, I don't do that. I just think that there's better, more tangible ways to be documenting this. And realistically, while I do talk about a lot of things when it comes to technicals, and even even some more tertiary things like the fear and greed index, or even even the longs and shorts, I don't really even care about that all that much. For actual trading, my strategy is quite simple, and I think that there's a lot more tangible things. And it's the things that I show you first and foremost. It's moving averages, the Joule, Stokes, and RSI to a little bit of a lesser extent, and then just straight up horizontals, man. Very, very simple. That's the most tangible thing to me. Everything else that I do on top of that is supplementary to give a general overview and kind of wrap around that whole the whole idea. I guess my point is that I would rather I wouldn't even know how to analyze that, actually, the 24-hour mempool. I wouldn't know, because a lot of these people are trading on exchanges as well. So that would probably be due to more like on-chain activity, right? That wouldn't be exchanges. So that would be hodlers doing their own thing. I wouldn't really know how to read that, actually. I'd rather call a spade and just say, hey, I guess it's just not that useful for me right now. Doesn't mean that it's not useful in general. If it works for you, it works for you. But I feel quite confident with the things that I already use. Hashim says, waiting for Bitcoin to dip down, then buy more, sell now. Okay, fair enough. Okay, what else we got, baby? Moon boobs. What's up, Alex Laza? Brandon Mayha says, hey Eric, what's your thoughts on XRP? I think that XRP probably goes up to about 52 cents first target, and then about 60 cents a little bit more long term. Simpy Gain says, seems like most successful traders had a mentor in their life at some point. Yeah, in some way, yes. And that's the beauty of the internet, though, is that because now, instead of having to be geographically around a potential mentor, you can just fucking go online and find, there's a million guys who want to be fucking mentors, man. I don't even want to be a mentor. I'm just sharing my experience, man. That's all it has to be. Let's see. Jacqueline Johnson says, Bitcoin. Alessio Rastani says, we are heading for a bubble in the next couple of months. What do you say? I'd say, look at Alessio Rastani's track record, and you can judge for yourself, because it's all there on the internet. And I'll leave it at that, man. Alessio Rastani was one of the people saying that 6,000 was the bottom for the longest time during 2018. I have a really hard time believing that anyone who knows anything about technical analysis or anything about trading or has any prior experience would ever call 6,000 the bottom during 2018. That was extremely misguided. That was extremely unlikely, and I think that kind of speaks for itself. The weird thing is that guy wants to present himself as an authority. He wears the suit. He gets all the right production. He does all the right presentations. He presents himself as a professional, right? Well, I don't need to present myself as a fucking professional because there's no such thing as a professional in cryptocurrency land. You don't get any accreditations or anything like that. It's not like traditional markets where I had to take a Series 56 test and do all that. And even then, I fucking hated wearing suits. I would never wear a suit right now. Fuck that, man. It's like, who are you trying to fool? It's like, what's going on here for real? I understand that some people actually do like that, but for myself, it's uncomfortable as fuck. And, if you're really living that life that you say you are, then, I guess just my perspective, but I'll leave it at that. Anyways, back onto the comments. Okay, already. Casso says Alessio has made way more money by trading than you. Just saying. Actually, I would suggest that you confirm that first, my friend. I'd suggest that you confirm that first. In fact, he's never shown a trade, so how would you know that? I'm happy to show you trades from my fucking streamer account. My fucking streamer account, which I started with $500 and have now built up to over 25 Bitcoins. So I'll just leave it at that, my friend, and you might want to verify those things before saying very misguided statements, or potentially misguided statements. I don't know how much money Alessio's made, and I don't really care how much money he's made either. Jesus Christ, I can't even refresh it right now. But yeah, man, he's never shown a trade, so how would you know is the real question. How would you know? That's my problem with a lot of these guys who present themselves as authorities on these venues. They don't verify themselves. You have to have what Ivan refers to as proof of trade, and I think that's a genius fucking concept because holy shit, that's the best way to to show something, really. Anyways, only 25 Bitcoin. Yes, it started with $500 fucking dollars, man. $500. You understand what that is? Yeah, and this was during 2018 as well, when Alessio was calling 6,000 as the low, my friend. So if he was trading during that time, I don't think that he did all that well. Anyways, what else we got? Trent Rogers says, sorry, that one just went past my face. Simon says, if CME at 8,500 BitMEX price would be like 8,200. No, the premium will change around. The premium will change around quite a bit. Anyways, Simply Gains says, why, bro? You thought we were going? Yeah, man, I did think that we were going lower than 3,000. Yes, I did, but I was also on the right side, and more importantly, when Bitcoin did turn around, I did get the right positions as well. So this is what I mean by trading my opinion. What the fuck is going on here? Why isn't this refreshing? Maybe I can bring it up on my other screen. But that's my point: is that I trade technical analysis, and I trade what that's telling me. When you say something like that, that is a little bit of a quip and a little bit on the side of disingenuous, because I think you do know better, and I think that you've been here for a while, so I don't really appreciate that. But just to show and just to verify, even though I did think that, even though I was bearish at that time, which yes, I was bearish, my positions were still bullish. I still had this position from 39.30, which is completely fine by me. So I'll just leave it at that and leave that there for a second, and you can judge for yourself. Anyways, back on over here, and is this thing? Yeah, there we go. All right, got that, and then got that right on over there, and back on to the comment. And what else we got? Mark D says HEB on NASDAQ about to go large, Krown. All right, let's go check it out. HEB. I'm not familiar with this. We have this right on over here. Hemisphere. Man, Simply Gains, I'm very disappointed in you right there, man. Very, very disappointed in you. That was fucking rude. That was fucking rude, man. You know better. You know better. You know better. Is it about to go lunar? I don't know about that, man. Holy shit. This thing went all the way from $2,000 down to $4. Oh no, we looked at this one the other day. This one was $10,000 before. Holy shit, man. Goes from $10,000 to $4. That's right, man. We're going to the goddamn moon. The fucking moon, baby. The fucking moon. Did hit the target today, though. 480. Nice. Not bad, but I don't really trust anything like that. What else we got on over here? What else we got, man? What else we got? What else we got, baby? Leon says, Krown, who is that insolent fool? Oh man, I'm just having a little bit of fun, man. You can't take anything personally on the internet, and people will say things I've found on the internet that they never say in real life, because it's just easier to, and fair enough. People are just having fun. You can't take it personally, right? Zuhair says, I have $500. How do I turn it into 25 Bitcoins? Well, you missed the last year, but it's all on video, so. Just make money. There you go. Anyways, what else we got, baby? What else we got? Zuhair, what the fuck's up, man? I feel like it's been a long time, man. I feel like it's been a long, long time. Let's see. Christopher Rodriguez says, Krown, I'm seriously considering purchasing your TA course. Would a stone cold beginner be able to benefit? Nope. I would say don't buy it. I'd say go through my free content first. Go through my playlist on YouTube, which is 100% free, titled Technical Analysis 101 or something like that. I actually just added a bunch of new material to it, so enjoy that. But go through that first, and you probably, if you're stone cold, man, you don't need to do anything more than that to begin with, and then maybe later down the road, if you feel like that's a good idea, then go into it. But for right now, probably not. What else we got, baby? Rick says, I'm going crazy, and I love it. You're a good bloke, Krown. Hey, thanks, man. I appreciate that, man. I appreciate that, Rick. What else we got? I see Batman back in the fucking Batcave. Love it, baby. He says, Alessio is a crypto meme. He got wrecked last year. Well, I'll just leave it at that, man. Again, I feel like Alessio has a lot of, Alessio has like a big fan base, and it can kind of show, because apparently I've pissed off a lot of people by saying that. But hey, that is truthful information. That is all on the internet for you to see out there. Let's see. Robin Qualley says, SDP, traditional markets, update please. Sure, man. SDP, what is this? SDP, pro shares on ARCA. Alrighty, what do we got here? Probably trades up a little bit more towards 17.5 bucks, and then I'd be looking for resistance there. Oh, it's an ultra short ETF. Okay, it's an ultra short ETF. I've never actually traded this. Apparently, this is on ARCA where I used to trade, but I never traded anything like this. I do think that it turns up here a little bit. Yeah, again, target right around 17.5 first target, 1790 second target. Don't really have too much else to say about it other than that, man. These sort of like ultra short type things I really dislike. But yeah, I do think there's a little bit of upside there, just a small bit, and then we'll kind of reassess it. I feel like I missed a few more. DeLuca says, can you look at Encash USD? Tim Draper backs it. Who's Tim Draper? I've heard that name before. Some sort of big investor. Encash, huh? Encash. I mean, these big investors, they actually invest in a lot of things, man. So I wouldn't take that into too much. But again, a perennial loser that just goes down and down and down and down and down for its whole entire history. I'd say that's usually not the best sign. If you can close this next daily dodo above 29 Satoshis, and yes, I would be willing to call a potential reversal, and then probably having a target a little bit more long-term towards 41 Satoshis. But this one coming under pressure here. And how many failed rally attempts have we seen over the course of the past year and a half? Many. And this thing just, Jesus Christ, man. What a dog of a chart. So yeah, if it can close a daily dodo above 29 Satoshis, then yeah, we can talk about some more upwards momentum, and ideally finding a move towards 41 Satoshis. But for now, still a little bit of a dog. Chad Rose is pretty disrespectful for free content. Thanks you. Hey man, my pleasure. Again, man, you can't control people on the internet, man, and people are entitled to their opinions. If you don't agree with me, if you don't like what I'm saying, that's all well and good, man. That's all well and good. I mean, if you want to call me a curly-headed fuck that should die, I mean, that's all good. I mean, you're free to say whatever you want, man. You're free to say whatever the fuck you want. Let's see what else we got, man. What else we got? Jesus Christ, man. Okay, what else we got? Jin Lee says, hey, Krown, could you have a look at OMG USD on daily? Okay, let's go check that out. OMG USD right on over here on Finex. And what do we have on the daily? Looking good. Looking good, actually. Have a nice little breakout out of this formation right on over here. And there we go right there. And there we go right there. And let's just do a little bit of a measure move right here. And let's see where this points up to. I'm going to guess it's probably somewhere around 340-ish region. Nope, not quite. Not quite about 315, but I do think that 315 is going to be a target on this baby, and then about 350 to 370-ish region. I do think that this one has some more to go, and this one does look like a good breakout, and is very, 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 very likely to get some more follow through. Weekly looks good as well. Yeah, shorter term target around three and a quarter. We'll call it 3 and a quarter. What I just missed on Twitch. What's up, Scagnetti? How you doing, man? Generally only wear suits to weddings to get drunk and sometimes to watch KCC. My fucking man. No suits required, no clothes required at all, man. What else we got, baby? What else we got? Okay. I feel like these are just moving too fucking fast right now. See, I see it over there. Massoholic says, Krown, can you look at IOTA USD? Okay, all right, we can look at that really quick. Let's see what's IOTA. I'm guessing a lot of the USD pairings are going to be looking good, I'd imagine. Just kind of flying off the strength of the Bitcoin. This one still hasn't taken its leg up yet, but this is a nice positive. This is a nice positive consolidation. We just got the golden cross right over here, the green and the purple, 50 and 200. I do think that this one ultimately takes a leg up towards 64 cents, but that's a little bit more long-term thinking right here. Shorter term, probably just in a range between here and about 53 cents. And I do think that this one ultimately gets resolved to the upside, but going to take its time. And again, more of a follower than a leader. And I just missed something else. Hey, what's up, Christopher? Great channel you have here, sir. Thank you. Hey, man, my pleasure. And thank you, man. Really, thank you. Bossa Q says VET USDT. Sure. All right, let's go check that out. VET USDT on, I guess Binance is the best one. And what do we have here? Down, 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 but just kind of flagging out on the hourly. I mean, that's the problem with looking at an hourly. Probably comes back down and trades towards this area right here, right around 0.8645. But I do think that it does bounce here, and I do think that we get some more continuation back up to almost 1 cent, and then probably a little bit longer term target going to be right around about 1.1 cent actually. So that's what I'd be looking at that one from a medium and long term perspective. What else we got, baby? Jesus Christ, man. This is fucking flying right now. What's up, T-Logad? Thanks for the triangles, my friend. Thank you. Jay Powell says, Krown, could you check out Link? We already looked at it a couple times, man. I'm bullish on the US dollar pairing. I'm looking for a little bit more on the pullback on the Bitcoin pairing, and then probably continuation later. But the dollar pairing is bullish. And we did look at it a couple times earlier today. Peter Pan says TKY up 18% today. Jesus Christ, man. What a monster. TKY, what do we got? Tokyo Electronics. I'm curious on the Friends with Benefit exchange. All right, let's check out this one. Doesn't really trade all that much. That's kind of an issue. I'm guessing this is not what you're talking about, because this is not up 18%. Maybe it's TKY BTC. Okay, the key. All right, the key. Is this up 18%? Also not up 18%. I think I just don't know what I just don't think I know which ticker you're asking about. Please specify exchange as well if possible. Henry Weinecker says, what do you think of MGTI chart, crypto mining stock? Yeah, let's go look at that. That's actually very, 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 very good to be looking at, just because you want to be looking at what the miners are actually doing right now. If the miners are healthy, then that's also good for a healthy Bitcoin in general. And this looks pretty good here. It looks like an actual reversal to me. I do believe that we are reversing. Looking at this increasing volume to the upside right over here, as we do take out the major white 200 simple moving average, I do think that this one does more short term work its way towards 12.5 cents, and then a little bit more medium term work its way towards about 20 cents region. Overall good, man. Overall good. And I do think that's reversing there. In fact, I'm going to add it to my list, because I do want to keep tabs on the miners now going forwards. Just like the people who trade gold want to keep tabs of the of the gold miners. All right, what else we got, man? Jesus Christ, that is just fucking insanity right now. Okay, all right, and back onto the comments here. Let's see. Frank Ingles says 25,000 subs on on Krown or local top on Bitcoin. Which first? Don't jinx it, man. Don't jinx it. DG says Cardano. Do you want to look at Cardano versus dollar or Bitcoin? Let's look at it versus dollar, because that's going to be a lot better chart than versus Bitcoin. Let's do this. Yeah, on Binance here. I'd be bullish on Cardano versus dollar, and I think that Cardano is breaking out right now. I think Cardano is breaking out right now. It's going to have a target of around 13 cents. Sorry, not 13. Whoa, where am I getting 13 cents from? About 12.80 cents, 12.80ish region, and I think it's breaking out right now. This is what a lot of altcoins going to be looking like versus the dollar pretty soon, if they aren't already. And daily Stokes up and at them as well. We're going to see a lot of alts move up here. A lot of alts are looking good right now. A lot of alts are looking good. In fact, as Bitcoin kind of stutter steps along this area right here, it does make it more and more likely that these alts actually get some chance to breathe and rally around. Okay, Amsterdam says I stopped watching Alessio Tone and basically everybody else when I found you. Hey man, I really appreciate that, and more importantly, I'm happy that you become a profitable trader. Hey, there you go. Especially after the program. Oh, so you're in the program as well. Fuck yeah, man. Hey, good shit, man. Glad that you're having good results with that. And again, I don't want to be like some sort of like adversarial person, even though I do take some liberties to make fun of other people. Probably not in the best taste, but I also don't want to, I don't want to like be a fucking negative voice in the space either. So I don't want to be known as the guy who's like, these guys suck. They're fucking awful. It's like, well, I wouldn't really listen to them is what I'm trying to say. Anyways, back on to the comments and what else we got. Wolfpack says Nebel BTC capitulation was once an 800 million market cap. Yeah, man. I mean, but fucking Doggy Coin was like 3 billion market cap for a while. NEBL BTC. So I don't really trust market cap to begin with. And market cap is a very crude calculation anyways. Is this capitulation? I mean, if you think this is capitulation, then, it's like, was this capitulation? Was this capitulation? Was this capitulation? Was this capitulation? It's, a downwards chart like this continues to go, an object in motion continues to go in motion, and a trend is likely to continue, essentially. And has this one hit its rock bottom yet? I don't see any signs of reversal just yet. I'd only call it a reversal if we can actually get past, at the very least, a prior high, which would be around 1,100 Satoshis. This is a terrible chart. This is, in fact, perhaps the worst chart that we've seen today. Really, really fucking bad, man. This is A's on a chart. This chart is so fucking awful, man. This chart is fucking awful. You could either buy Nebel or start masturbating with sandpaper. You could either, there are so many more things that I'd rather do in this chart. There are so many more things that I'd rather do than buy this chart. Jesus fucking Christ, man. I'd rather swim up the Nile with only Rosie O'Donnell's queef as my only air supply than buy this piece of shit. Jesus Christ, man. Continuation of the downside and more and more. There's no signs of reversal here. In fact, even on a weekly, it's not until we get above 1850 where this thing calls an actual potential reversal. So it's got a lot of work to do, man. That's kind of the idea that I'm trying to get out right now. This is bad. That's fucking bad, man. Jesus Christ. If your favorite shitcoin is not doing well right now while Bitcoin is doing well, that's not a good sign. It's actually quite a bad sign. Okay, just missed another one. Sorry about that. Pinch says, came for the TA and say because you're not like Crypto Crew. You're not like Crypto Crew University charging 600 showing you how to use CoinMarketCap or Subo douche dumping his bags on his viewer. You're a good person, much respect. Hey man, my pleasure, man. Again, that's that's how I want to differentiate myself, is that I'm a trader first, not a YouTuber first, or not anything. What is the Crypto Crew University guy, the guy who goes, "What's up, world? This is Stevie, and today we're gonna make crypto trading easy." It's like, what the fuck is that, man? Hey, what the fuck did you take this morning, man? Where did that come from? Chris K says, hi, Krown, race daily and weekly pre's. Okay, let's go check out $race, RACE. This is Ferrari, I believe. Yes, it is, on New York Stock Exchange. And you want to look at daily, weekly. Coming down here, probably going to bounce off the 158 level. Weekly. Weekly still looks bullish, so yeah, daily tells me that we probably do bounce off this area and do get a little bit of a try higher. You guys like that? What's up, world? Can't say that with a straight face, man. This is Steve. Oh man. I don't know a thing about that guy, by the way. I just seen the intro for a few times, actually from that Martini guy who did an expose on him, which I thought was pretty hilarious. Anyways, Crypto Hamster says VET, BTC, now or never. It does have the momentum on the dollar pairing. The dollar pairing was actually looking good. I do think that you get continuation on the dollar pairing. What I don't like is the Bitcoin pairing is getting sold into immediately, man. I mean, so they announce some news and then immediately get sold into. That's not what a healthy asset does. I would be careful with this one. This is not a good signature here. Giving up more than 50% of your rally on the first day. I mean, we traded up to 50%, then closed at 20. So it literally gave up 30%, the majority of its rally, and then the next day comes back all the way back down to where it started from. I don't like that, man. If this is going to be the bottom, it's unlikely to give you a second chance to buy that area. Again, I'm not a fan of that. Although the dollar pairing is bullish, actually. Okay, what did I just miss on over here? Where is it? Come on, baby. Refresh Streamlabs. Paul says, can you explain how and when to draw measure moves? Paid extra for room to say thank you for the awesome channel and boosting my TA tenfold. Hey man, my pleasure. So when and where to do measure moves? This is again a conversation that it's gonna take really too long to do it justice on YouTube. So understand that it's a lot more in depth than what I'm gonna say right now, because actually I'm gonna be stopping this stream probably in the next 5 minutes. But basically, measure moves. When do I do them? When whatever asset you're trading goes into a consolidation period and creates some sort of a known pattern, like an ascending triangle, like a bull flag, like a symmetrical triangle, like an ascending triangle, like any variation of a fucking triangle, like a rising wedge, like a falling wedge, like a most of those patterns typically do have measure moves. They're not always exact, but they typically do get you into the ballpark. And the way to do it is typically it's going to be in some way related to the actual size of the consolidation in some formats. Also, it could be related to the trend beforehand, in the examples of like a flag. So it is context dependent, but that's the general rule, I suppose you could say. ACB, I see just being called out. So Aurora, we haven't looked at weed today, so let's go look at some weed stocks. We got Aurora on New York Stock Exchange, and what do we have here? Yeah, it's kind of creating a little bit of a ascending triangle here. So talking about measure moves, kind of just wrapping up that conversation. We are kind of working on one right here now, aren't we? Descending triangle right here. So measure move on this would look something like this. And would be pointed down. And usually what you want to see on your measure moves, you want to see confluences with another major support or resistance or some sort of a fib or something like that. And here we do see an example of that. So measure move back down to about 660. Now here's the thing with a descending triangle like this, we probably do spend some more time going within this region. And more importantly, I've seen every fucking pattern break out every way that it's technically not supposed to. So just because it isn't a descending triangle doesn't mean it's always going to break out to the downside. It's just more likely to from a statistical standpoint. But looking at this right here, does look a little bit on the weaker side. I do think that it's likely, but I wouldn't even play this until we actually close a dildo below 720 and violate this area or this prior low right here at about 701. That's the actionable area. We do see some major movement averages crossing to the down, so that's not necessarily the best thing. But by the same token, if you do see a move above 750, 760-ish region, I'd be looking for a move back up here to $8 actually. So again, in a consolidation areas phase, the longer term, however, I really do like. The longer term is one massive consolidation, and you can see right here that the longer term time frames do look like they want to come down here. But overall, this is a very constructive and healthy consolidation that's probably going to be, you know, carried on for the next, you know, for a while. And I would actually be looking for this to be broken up to the upside, but this could take, you know, this could take another year essentially, another half year to a year. All right, Sarah Bisto, last one for shop, and then I'll wrap up Bitcoin, and then we'll call it a day. But we've got Shopify right on over here on New York Stock Exchange, and what do we got? A little bit of a local top, yeah, local top right on over here confirmed. So we spoke about this yesterday when you asked about it. Local top was confirmed. We came back down. The first target was hit at $300. No bounce. In fact, actually losing the 21. I do think that we got a little bit more continuation here, back down to 275 actually. Let's go look at the weekly for a second. How's weekly looking like? Yeah. Weekly did come down to support. Okay, I think that no, I'm gonna change. I'm gonna change that. No, I'm gonna be wrong on that. We probably do bounce from this area. Probably do bounce back up here towards 306. I'd be looking for a bounce first and foremost, and we'll reassess it. But I do think that we are at a local top area. But shorter term time frames probably do bounce back up to about 305-ish region. Anyways, back onto the Bitcoins, and I'll start to wrap this bitch up. Overall, Bitcoin on lower time frames still consolidating this region and still looking overall okay. I would say that if you are trading the lower time frames, be cognizant of this area right here. Between 12,700 and 12,900. Whichever way breaks first is going to be the next nice move. If we do break to the downside, I'd be looking for a move back down to about 12,300. If we do break to the upside above 12,900, I do think that we take a leg up towards our next target of about 13,300. In fact, that is, I guess my measure move just kind of went away, but that is the measure move off this little flag formation right here to the upside. So we do have a measure move pointing towards about 13,300-ish region, which is also an area of hot contention because not only is 13,300 the measure move off the lower time frames, but if we do pull this guy out, and when in doubt you should pull it out, we do see the 618 Fibonacci retracement is right around 13,300, actually a few ticks below. We also do see a nice horizontal supporting resistance coming in and born from late 2017, early 2018, and also important, we do see the volume profile showing some activity being shuffled in this area as well. And most important, well, maybe not most importantly, but also important, we do see the 68% expected move for the first standard deviation also exactly painted in right around 13,300. So a lot of things very confluent with that area. And if we do get there, I would be looking for, some counter trend activity. I do not think that we take out the 618 to the upside, on this first attempt. I think that over time probably does happen, but on the first attempt, probably unlikely. But hey, if, that's my opinion, man. My opinion can be wrong, and my opinion has been wrong in the past. My opinion is worthless. I don't trade my opinion. I trade technical analysis. And here's what the technical analysis says. If we close a daily doodle above this level, if we close a daily doodle above that 13,300 pivot, we can talk about targets higher, but this thing's probably going to work its way towards 16,000 actually. So it's got a lot of work to do. Anyways, with all that said, I do want to leave you off there. I want to wish you the best, the happiest on this nice little hump day Wednesday. I'll be back on tomorrow with some more video and live stream analysis. Take care and see you soon.